Hi, everybody. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, how are you? We've finally made it to the finale.
It
It
happened.
happened. We did it. Although this is not going to be our last episode because we do have something planned for next Sunday.
But before we do that, I'm Katie.
I'm Kimberly, and
We're
this
the
is
Wilderness Girls.
yeah. And this is A Day with K and K. This is our YouTube channel, and you can help us pick a new show for sure. We're taking suggestions, although we have one in mind, but uh we do have something Yellow Jackets related for next Sunday.
Yeah.
So, but it'll be a little bit earlier, and there might be some special guests.
They're definitely going to be special guests. It's going to be longer and starts earlier, so you don't want to miss it.
Yeah.
Definitely be there.
It should be really fun.
Yeah.
So this episode is the finale, like I said. It
Yeah.
is called storytelling. But before we go, a couple things from last time.
Okay.
A couple people, including Natalie, our Natalie, not the Natalie on the show, pointed out this scene from the very first episode of
Yes.
season 1,
Mm-hmm.
which is reminiscent. Misty is watching a rat swim in the pool and
Right.
not saving it or anything. And it's similar to what happened with Javi last week. And also, I believe the song Rat in a Cage then also makes a little bit more sense
Oh,
if you
yeah.
take that into account. So, thank you, Natalie, for pointing that out. We have a Ulysses already. It just started. We already have a
Ulysses is
cat.
here. Oh, but she's
Oh,
busy. Excuse
she's
me. I'm
busy.
sorry. Are you busy? She's busy right now. Sorry about that. Yeah. She was busy.
Someone let me know that in Lord of the Flies, because I haven't read it since high school,
Mm.
they convinced themselves that there was a monster and developed rituals to justify
Yes.
various actions. So
Yes.
it is could be similar to what's going on here, although I'm still team supernatural. But
Very, very good point. I
yeah.
think that we are trying to be away from that it's supernatural by this finale for sure.
Mhm.
But I
Yeah.
don't know. I think that might be unreliable.
No,
I think we're
totally. But
being
I
led
agree.
astray.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then a couple people pointed out that Javi is the one who kind of brought the card back. Well, he did bring the Queen of Hearts back
he
that
did.
his friend gave to him. But and so everyone said that means he should die first, but I don't agree because that's not the same as picking it from a deck of cards. To me, that's different. So I think he only died because Natalie intervened in that whole thing. Or maybe the wilderness chose. But I don't know if it has to do with the card. I feel like you have to draw the card during the hunt when you put the rituals on you know, the skull.
So what was the point about Javi having the card? Just that
That was why he died first, because he brought back the card from his special hiding place that his friend gave to him or whatever. His friend
okay,
being
that's an interesting theory.
yeah.
That's interesting. I got to think about that one. Okay.
And then everybody look away if you don't want to see something terrifying. It's a shot that's been bothering me in the opening credits, and I don't
Okay.
know if we've seen it, and I
Okay.
want clarification on if we've seen it or not, but it's
Okay.
scary to me at least, so look away.
Yeah, I believe that's one of the ones we see in the did you go back and look at the ritual in episode 2 or whenever they're burying the man in the cult, in the purple cult, the wellness center? Is that one of the masks that we see? Did you double check that?
No.
That's when it could be. If not if not, it looks like a lot like the skull that we see in the cabin with straw
With
behind it.
like, hair.
Very much. So, if it's not seen in that scene, I mean, it looks a lot
Could that
like
be
the
from
one like that long cow skull in the
it
or
totally
horse or
does.
whatever it
It
is,
looks like a
moose.
horse to me, but, like, with hair, like someone dressed it up, like, putting makeup on Jackie. I don't know what's happening. It scares me.
Well, they
Anyways.
made the person it looks like they're putting it on some sort of scarecrow, right?
Yeah,
Like how
yeah,
you make that kind of
100%.
look like a person, but it's not a
Mhm.
person.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then the last thing I wanna
Sheep
say,
skull, thank you. Mhm.
uh, yeah, Cruel Summer, I'm so excited for season 2.
Yeah.
But see, I loved season 1 so much. Um, I found out from watching a YouTube channel that, our friend Laura from, the Fall Line podcast sent me, and she made me watch the whole thing, and I was like, "I don't have time, it's 20 minutes." She made me watch it. But anyways, the guy mostly said what I was thinking, but he did say that he found out the showrunners only wrote the first episode of this season.
Yes. There were a lot of writers on the season. Yeah.
Uh-huh, and new people, and so the show writers basically did the first episode and then dipped out, and
Which makes a lot of things make sense here
it
now
100% does. And a
because
lot of people were comparing it to Game of Thrones, or, like, when people just get a little cocky and are like, they'll let their writers handle it, but, like, I feel like they should be in the 2nd season, it's like a 2nd season curse already that you have if your 1st season was so good, so you
right.
have to be so careful and put in that work. I'm not blaming them, but
So you're stating straight out that you did not enjoy the 2nd season as much as season
yeah,
1.
yeah, I'll say that straight out, and I think
Yeah,
that's how most people feel.
I feel that way. I
Yeah,
did not, and I felt really
and I felt like
frustrated.
this episode especially, it was frustrating.
I felt like these last 2 episodes are the 2 episodes, even though we do get them eating each other for the first time, we get Shauna having her baby, still somehow, for those episodes 2 through 7, I feel like I didn't get as much action as these last 2, as 8 and 9. I feel like I could go back and watch all of season 1 and then come and watch episodes 8 and 9 and, like, be moved along. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
I don't feel like we spent a lot of time on Adam Martin, and I feel like
That was
that
a
plot
mistake.
line
That was a
could have
huge
been
mistake.
wrapped up in episode 5.
Yeah,
We could have already why are we still handling this at the end of this season?
absolutely.
It just was sort of a mistake because people are just tired of that storyline.
Yes, and because we didn't have a lot of action and there were a lot of episodes that felt like they were leading up to the next, just setting the stage,
Yes,
everything was crammed into this, and there are
everything.
so many plot holes. And I
Right.
don't like when people do that. You know, I don't like when
Yes.
you and my dad are like, "Where's Sammy?" And I'm like, "I know someone picked him up from school." But there are so many insane, it's
Yeah.
so like
There are a lot of questions on
there are a
this, like,
lot of questions and a
"How did
lot of
they get
things.
that? How did this
Yeah,
happen?" Right.
totally,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
distracting so,
Well, and
and
it's a
I'm
little
not
bit what
usually one of those viewers that is
you're
trying to pick
not.
apart.
You're also but I knew that you were sort of thinking that last time because you were on the train of we don't get them talking about the pulling of the card. So, we get a lot more of that kind of stuff where it's like, "Okay,
And
we're doing this," but there's literally 3 seconds of conversation when in episode 6, we had 20 minutes of conversation with that Lisa's mom, who we
you
don't need to know about,
1,000,
right? Yeah.
and you know what? This will only some people will get this, but I know you will.
Mhm.
It feels like a Ryan Murphy show.
Okay.
And I watch Ryan Murphy shows. They're very entertaining.
Mhm.
They're very gory. I liked Glee. I like American Horror Story. They
Mhm.
make no sense. They have people
Right.
on one side of town and then they're in another state that just pop up in a scene and you're like, "How did they get there?" And then they're
Doesn't
back
matter.
in California and you're
Right.
just not supposed to ask questions. It's
Right.
like it's just you just make a lot of assumptions. And so to me that's what this last episode felt like, and it was sort of
Mm.
annoying to me. And I don't like being that person because I love the show and I think it has so much promise, and I think the first season was so spectacular and the pacing was so good of the first season, and
Mhm.
then they do this.
I would love to know why the showrunners did not stay on the rest of
Right,
the
were they
episodes.
working on another show? That's what I don't like when
Were they
someone
working ahead?
overcommits.
We know they've been greenlit for other seasons. Were they moving on in the show?
You're not gonna get to other seasons if you don't pick up the I mean,
Um,
I mean, you probably have a deal in place, but
they do have a deal, don't they? I thought they had a 5-season
that
deal,
was
or
their plan,
I know
but
for sure they have 3.
they have
I know
story
for
arcs
sure
out.
3 is done.
Yes, but it's gonna be on hold now because of the writer's
Right.
strike, but they need, it's one of those things, and I don't mean to sound cocky that they do need us, but Katie and I sometimes do think that we should get to see, like, screeners first, Sometimes on Dateline too, because they've watched it so many times in the editing process, they'll drop like one detail and that makes it confusing, like you don't understand what year it is or something.
They
And
must have people doing that, though.
I would hope so. Well, we're volunteering,
We're
but like,
volunteering if they don't, but I do think that they must have some sort of focus group in there,
yeah,
don't they? To sort of
I don't
watch and
know.
say as
But
an
like
outside.
we've done it too. We had an episode once that was edited and by our
Mhm.
editor that we had at the time, and then it we released it and we never said what the verdict was of this murder
That is
trial.
true. We did
And
not.
people kept saying, "Did I miss it?" I kept rewinding, "What happened?" And
No, it
it
just
had
got
just
cut on
gotten cut
accident.
out by accident and, like,
Yeah.
just so that but if there was a third party that that
Yeah.
was listening and then would be like, "That didn't make sense. How did they get there? Why is this happening?" You know?
Why is there
So,
no verdict?
yeah, why is there no verdict?
Yeah.
So okay. Are we ready? Did you have anything from last time?
Probably, but I don't remember right now.
Do you wanna check your notes?
Yeah.
I'll read the comments.
Hold on. I definitely had
Yeah, I agree that it had more fluff. Mhm.
nope, I don't. I'm good. Let's go.
Okay. So,
All my questions are like can be asked in this episode. So
great. So, Travis is so happy to see Natalie, and then they all walk up with Javi's body, and she tells him the wilderness chose, but you know she knows that she chose, but I think she's saying the wilderness chose. Did you feel like she believed that the wilderness chose and she said that? Or do you feel like she's just feeling so badly?
you feel so badly.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so too. So, which is interesting for later, what happens later to her, like
Yeah.
how much she believes of this. So,
Yeah.
and then Travis is crying over Javi's body and Zombie is playing. And I immediately was like, is Javi a zombie? Is he coming back? Was he dead when he was gone? And then he was a zombie when he came back after a couple months. And that was zombie Javi.
Well, are they pointing at something?
Or are they just using it because it's a song, a good popular song?
Now I have questions because I questioned that song last week. So now I
Right.
have questions if that's happening. Some of the song choices seem incredibly specific though.
Hmm.
So
And some just seem like there's one lyric or word that they want to focus on in that song.
I
But
don't
you
know.
know the
Some of the
music much better than I do.
and some of the music has been really, really strong, but some of it
I've
I
also
think
seen some critiques.
okay.
Uh,
Okay.
but I don't
This
know the music like you know the
this
music.
one I feel like maybe was pointing to something.
I don't even
I don't
understand
know.
what that song is about. Um,
Oh, it's sad. It is about the Troubles in Ireland. It's about the Troubles,
well,
if you've watched Dairy Girls.
I've watched Dairy Girls, yeah.
Yeah, so
Um,
look it up. We should not discuss it here on the podcast because 'cause I'm gonna get or on the show because 'cause I'm gonna get it wrong, and I don't want
yeah.
to
No,
yeah,
I
but
studied it
I know
after I watched Dairy Girls. Sadly, didn't learn
it's
much about it in
I believe
school,
that song is
but
about that.
I
Yeah.
read a lot of articles after Dairy Girls.
But I think
Um,
of course, because but I think that, like, I think that maybe are they pointing literally that somebody that is dead is not dead? They're the dead Walking Dead,
it is a
dead but
weird
alive?
song because it's very, like, metal not metal, but, like,
Mhm.
alternative and it's, like, such a sad moment. But they kinda do that flip a lot too,
They do that flip a lot.
where they
Yeah.
heighten the emotion with s
Well, I
songs
mean,
that are heightened,
they played lightning crashes
but not during the birth scene.
during the scene where she's getting beat
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
So so Lottie is upstairs. She asks Misty why Travis is screaming, which is
Mhm.
very strange because I thought she had been watching the whole thing in her mind. And I still think she might have been because then later she says, I can't hear it anymore. Like, I can't hear the wilderness anymore. She's
Mhm.
asking Misty what happened. Like, and Misty explains that they killed Javi and they're going to eat Javi and stuff. And she's like, she didn't know. But so that's what was a little confusing to me. But
Well, I
Misty
think she was getting flashes the week before, so
flashes.
maybe she's not connecting the dots on her
The
flashes.
way
Her
they edited
flashes
it was the second he was dead and they said the wilderness chose, she stopped and she was like, could breathe again. And
right.
so it was like she was fully connected to what was happening.
I think she was connected that she was given a reprieve. Like,
Right.
somehow she was saved because of
Yeah, I
this as
also would like
well.
to point out that she seems to be recovering just fine without Javi's high calorie butt meat. Like she's sitting up and her face looks better already. They made it seem like she was going to die if they didn't kill somebody. She seems to be okay. You could have given it another day, guys.
Yeah.
So,
Well, then you were gonna have to kill somebody the next day.
well, if you were doing it strictly for Lottie and Lottie is healing on her own,
Good point.
then you didn't have to kill Javi. I mean, I know they were starving and that was another reason they did it.
You could have
Or
maybe
or
just taken
maybe
a leg.
they were pretending it was to save Lottie, but it was really because they were just starving.
They
S
are just starving, right? I mean,
They're absolutely they yes, 100%.
but
So
we're flip-flopping, so it's hard to, like, kind of kn yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay.
so, Misty's like, "You started this because Lottie's unhappy," and Lottie's like, "Did I do that?" And she's
No,
like but she didn't say that. That would be weird. Um, so
it would be timely, though.
oh,
It
I
would
think
be time appropriate if she had gone, "Did I do
it's the
that?"
90s.
It would
It's
have been,
come
but,
on.
it would have been the worst moment of comic r it might have been the show jumping the shark if she had done that. That might have been it.
I think it might have already, and in fact, the YouTube video I was watching was like it jumped the shark.
Don't
Uh,
stop.
I
Let's
know.
I'm gonna no.
Um,
I'm holding out
no,
for
I
season
still love
3.
it. I'm
I'm
still
holding out for season
totally on
3.
board,
I'm not giving up.
100%. So
Mm-mm.
no matter how salty I get during this, remember, I'm still super into this show.
And a lot of people were not disappointed by the finale. Jake, speak up in the
Okay.
comments. There are people that were not.
Okay.
I was actually not.
Oh, good to
It
know.
was better than I was ready for. I
Well,
was ready to be
you were sent an article by a friend of
that
ours.
basically just said, "This is hot garbage." And so I was
Laura,
like,
I already
"We're
called you out. You're late. I already
in
said you made me
trouble,
watch that video.
in trouble."
Um, yeah, no, Mary Payne sent an article that was like, everyone is disappointed. The world is crumbling because
Mhm,
everyone hates this episode. And then Katie's like, I haven't watched it yet.
mhm.
So I'm glad you liked it. So
It did.
Misty lies to everyone and says that Lottie was pleased. The wilderness was pleased with
Lottie was
Lottie was
happy.
pleased with the wilderness's choice.
I
So
think
she's just trying to like,
she's trying to make it easier for everybody. This is
yeah.
terrible, right? And
And she
so
probably doesn't wanna feel guilty too, like, we didn't what we were supposed to be doing, what our queen wanted. Did we totally mess up?
and then she didn't want it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, Travis, for it 2 times in this episode, he's very sad about Javi, but I don't feel like he's sad enough. They wanna cut him up and start eating him, and he just walks away. He's like, "Okay." He doesn't say no or anything. Is he just
I think he can't he doesn't have the strength to fight is the feeling I got. It was
Yeah,
like,
maybe.
this is just gonna happen. So what
Yeah,
choice do I have?
yeah.
I'm going
Also,
off the cliff or I'm
maybe he
gonna
does
do
believe
this.
in the wilderness enough that he's like, "Well, if the wilderness chose."
He is a believer.
He's
So,
a believer.
yeah,
So, Shauna is doing the cutting and she can't look at him, so she covers her face and, like, cuts blindfolded. Very impressive, but I think this is her
that was wild.
further dissociating herself from the feelings she has towards the person she's butchering and
I
when
I
she's butchering.
I have something to say about this
Yeah,
because we gotta get somebody else that's good on a knife. Shauna cannot have all the trauma. We cannot be
well,
like, "Your baby's gonna die.
yeah,
Um, your best friend's gonna die first. We're gonna eat her first after you've been talking to her and putting makeup on her in the shed.
yeah.
But you also have to cut up everything else that dies." That's that's messed up,
No, it's
right?
true. Well, I think they
That's
should be training more of them to do more things. They should be teaching more to
anybody
hunt
else can use it.
and
Shauna
yeah,
wasn't born knowing how to use a knife. We have 0 backstory of her being, like, with her dad, I don't know, gutting fish or something. We have no backstory of Shauna being able to use a knife. Give Van
Right.
the knife. Let Van give brunette number 3 or pink hat girl. Give one of
Right.
them a try. What are
Yeah.
they doing?
No, they do nothing.
Everybody should get a turn you doing the trauma knifing.
Yeah, I agree.
It's messed up. I'm not happy about this.
So, Coach comes back, sees her cutting up Javi,
Mhm.
and is Natalie comes up and she's like, "Where were you, Coach? Like, you
She
missed
doesn't
the
say it
whole
like that.
Coach, where were you? You missed the whole hunt. You didn't have to participate." I know everyone's saying that he probably wouldn't have eaten the meat, so he doesn't have to participate
I don't even know how he's standing at this point because Coach hasn't eaten. He didn't eat
all
Jackie.
night.
What is Coach
He's
eating?
been starving for
Is he
months
eating
now.
his own butt meat?
Maybe.
Okay.
So that's
He's
what
been just
Bear
cutting off.
Grylls would do.
Okay, there you
So,
go.
yeah, I think I saw an episode on that. So, Natalie is like, or he tells Natalie, "I found Javi's place. We can hide there. I think we can survive all winter. You're not like these people." And she's like, "I'm worse. I gave Javi's life for mine,
Yeah.
and you're too nice to be here. You've been a little bit useless as the only adult. I'm just gonna say it.
We're gonna ask you to leave.
You need to leave. We're voting you off the island. Go to your hobbit hole in that tree."
Yeah.
And so now it's Coach against everybody. So
I like
Travis,
that. I
I
like this.
mhm. So then Travis tells Van, "You should be ashamed," but he's not even that upset, but maybe he's still in shock. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. And Van, who is suddenly so creepy and culty and wildernessy, is like, I'm not ashamed. I'm glad I'm still alive, and you are too. Let your brother save your life by eating him. Don't you owe him that much
Okay.
by what he's this gaslighting stuff that
I
she's
I
pulling
don't think
is
it is though. I've written some words here and I need smart people in the chat to help me. I've
okay.
written pragmatist question
Mhm.
mark,
Mhm.
nihilist question mark, survivalist question mark. There is a psychology happening here,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure what it is and it has clicked in and it is here to stay.
Yeah,
So
Van is a
what is it
survivor.
exactly?
Well,
'Cause it is
whatever.
very practical what she's saying.
Mhm.
It's
No,
absolutely true. It's just with
it
0
just
emotion.
and it
Like
happened so quickly to me. It feels very quick to me, and her in the adult storyline also, it felt very quick to me
because we're
because
not getting we're getting buildup on stuff we don't need buildup on. We're getting more about Shauna and her family, which we just don't need, and we're
right.
not getting the important sort of
Right.
backstory in the wilderness where we're, like, really understanding what's going on in their heads because we've
Mhm.
been there with them.
Yeah,
We needed about 25% current timeline and 75% wilderness timeline.
I agree with that. I would enjoy that a lot more.
That's yeah.
I totally agree with that. So Shauna brings in the Javi meat and offers the Javi heart to Travis, which I thought was interesting because like usually the hunter, the one who kills the animal, would eat the heart, but
Mhm.
Travis eats the heart and he puts that little wolf statue that Javi made last season, I think,
I feel like that's gonna be really important and
on
I'm gonna forget it, so I circled
on
it and
the
underlined it for next season.
on the
Yeah.
fireplace.
When else
Um
have we seen that wolf statue pop up that's
It
I
was
need
on another
Reddit,
windowsill, in season 1,
right
on the
before something
windowsill.
happens. What happens right is it right before the seance? It's in a moment that's important. When does anybody know when that is?
No,
I would
but it
love
was a wolf, and
anybody's
then so it was important
advice.
because wolves
Also,
are so symbolic.
the Fall Line podcast, is this Laura?
Yeah, that's Laura.
Who
Yeah,
says Van is the big bad. That
yeah.
big that
She
I hope somehow I really hope that's true. Just
yeah.
like out of nowhere, it's Van.
Also,
My
she
favorite.
really hates Shauna, like, despises Shauna, so but we're excited for that,
Why does she hate Shauna?
she thinks she's just horrible and makes horrible decisions and has since even before the plane crash, and I do have to agree with her.
Who told you
So,
that? Where are you getting that?
she cheated with her best friend's boyfriend. And then got pregnant
No,
before the
but
plane crash.
Van thinks
No,
that?
Shauna. No, Laura thinks Shauna is
Oh, you
terrible.
were freaking me out. I was like, Van doesn't hate Shauna. It
No,
was
Van doesn't
killing
hate
me.
Shauna. No.
Okay. All right.
So Daniel says that the wolf statue was before Van got mauled by the wolves. I'm not I'm willing to believe that.
It says that what?
That it was before Van got mauled by wolves. It was like a foreshadowing.
Were the people in the cabin, somebody put that in the window, and that was the night that it happened when they were out on the vision quest, like,
I don't know.
looking for by the Rust River?
I don't
I
know.
think
I'd
you're
have to
right.
go back.
Whoever said that, I think that might be right.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Sarah, okay, technically she didn't cheat, he cheated. That's fair. She cheated on girl code and her best friend's trust though. So she also cheated. They both cheated.
Also with her virginity, so does that amp it up or does that amp it down? What do we think
Uh,
about
that's
no, don't
that,
discuss this in the comments, but I
that
am just saying your first time is cheating.
right. I think she has
Does
issues
it
from
say?
her parents. So
I think
I'm
there's
just
a
gonna
whole ball of stuff again
yeah.
about Shauna that we're never gonna know, and I really don't want them to spend any time on it. I
I
don't
know
care.
we don't
Don't
care.
spend any time on it. I
Yeah.
don't care. I don't care about any of this. Yeah.
Yeah. So, he takes a bite of the heart and he's eating raw, uncooked little brother heart and crying. It's like sobbing, eating your brother's heart. And then they throw it in the pan and they all start cooking up the meat and they're
Why is he doing
salivating.
that? Does he feel like he has to it seems like he has to do that. Why does he have to do that? Who
In
told him to do that?
hunting, well, Shauna gave him the heart, and
No,
that's what I
I
was
get it.
saying. Normally, the hunter, whoever killed the animal, would take the heart, and then you're supposed to bite it as, like, respect to the animal.
Who said that?
It's like a thing, I think, and I don't
In,
even
like, in
hunt.
Stone Age? When
I
did
don't
was
know,
that
like on
in
Alaskan
Renaissance?
bush people. It's, like, symbolic, right?
The
Yeah,
eating taking a bite out of the heart?
yeah. Somebody who hunts will back me up on this. So,
But
yeah,
I'm just saying the raw heart, the blood taste, that's
yeah,
not
no.
when I
Um, yeah, the Andy again, we're not gonna talk about that scene, but I'm gonna put it up on the screen to make Katie uncomfortable.
No,
Um,
I saw it in the comments. I saw it. Don't do that for me. I
so
forgot about that.
Misty brings Lottie some food, and Lottie says, "I thought it wanted what was best for us. Now I'm not so sure." Like she thinks it's bad now. It is bad now. And then Misty's like, "Your team needs you." And Lottie eats it. And the song is like, "Magic is alive. Magic was fed.
God is
God was at their
here.
side." Yeah. So then
Is
Lottie comes downstairs, everyone's happy, and Van is telling them a story because after you eat your little brother, you want to hear a rom-com from the 90s recapped. But then she tells them the story about the wilderness and how it was
and we get in the
misunderstood.
promo. That's in our
Mhm.
season promo.
Yeah, and the wilderness was misunderstood and lonely, and it built a house and waited for people to come. And she's just so wildernessy all of a sudden. Van is
I
just so wildernessy.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Um, it had someone come. His name is being referred to as Cabin Daddy, which I disapprove in the strongest possible terms to that name for him.
Yeah. Cabin Daddy.
Um, but we haven't had anyone talk about him, see
We were
anything
supposed
to
to get
do with him this
his
season.
backstory with Jason Ritter in it. He was supposed to be in that backstory storyline, but
Says who?
leaks and stuff. Um,
And
so
yet
we didn't get that. So
so what is
next
going to
season.
happen, my guess is that we are opening with that opening shot next season.
Yeah, that's
We're going
possible.
back to Cabin
Mhm.
Daddy,
Yeah.
and everyone's gonna be like, "Who's that? Oh, that's right, there was a dead guy in the cabin, but we
Mhm.
didn't talk about him for an entire season, so we have
Yep.
no idea
Yeah.
anymore."
His blood was dripping down the walls, maybe. That's maybe who his blood was dripping down the
Or maybe
walls.
the people in there with him, was he alone? Did he have a family?
Was Laura Lee with him and
Is it
Jackie?
like is it a Shining situation?
Yeah, I don't know. I
Cabin
think
fever?
there there were pictures released of Jason Ritter dressed as the cabin guy or as no, he's not the cabin guy. I thought he was somebody else in that cabin guy storyline. Um, because we saw the cabin guy in when Jackie died and it wasn't him. Unless they
It
recast
doesn't mean they're gonna
cabin guy.
they're not gonna
So they
recast.
did recast Tequila.
They did.
So
Who
um
also is not in episode 9 at all.
she's at the very end. We see her.
She has a line?
No.
Okay.
So that's no, too much. She's gone through it with Nugget and she's emotionally checked out right now. And I would be too after what happened with Nugget.
I would
So,
like to check in on her, though. I care about her, and I would
oh,
like to know how she's
absolutely.
doing in episode 9, but we don't get
So
that.
Lottie interrupts and says, I never wanted to be in charge. It chose me because I was the only one who knew how to listen, but I can't hear it anymore. And I'm like, you literally just told Misty you think it might be bad now and doesn't want what's best for you. And then she says, I can't she's just back and forth. Like, does she believe in this? Also, it's too late. It's like you've already pulled the pin out of the grenade, Lottie. You know
Yeah.
what you've started? You can't put it back in and now pretend like you're not sure about this whole thing. So she says, it doesn't need me anymore because you all learned how to hear it and feel it. Maybe it wants to have a leader that can help us survive while we're out here. And that's not me. And everyone's like, no, don't say that. And then she's like, the wilderness chose, it's chosen who will lead us. And the funniest thing is all the people who think it's them. Because Thais is like this. And then Misty's like she totally thinks it's gonna be her, and then it's not her, and then Shauna totally thinks it's gonna be her,
Mhm.
and then she says Natalie, and she says, "It's obvious because we tried to kill you and it wouldn't let us." And so Lottie
I
kisses
don't
her hands like very Godfather, and
The
and
Godfather. Can I get a poll, or can people just say how they felt about this kissing the ring,
yeah,
bowing,
I didn't like it.
the Misty curtsying?
Yeah.
I did not like this because I don't think it felt untrue to Nat's character. I don't think that she would be cool with any of
No,
that.
so, the weird so okay, so oh, and then Coach is let me get to so Coach is watching
Oh,
all of
Jake,
this
I
from
see you.
outside,
Mhm.
and he is watching this weird ceremony because he snuck back to get some matches and firewood for his hobbit hole. So everyone's bowing to Natalie. It's so weird. Natalie just takes it because Natalie hated the whole coven thing. She hated the whole
Yeah.
cult thing. And now she's like happy with this power she has. She's like smiling. She never smiles.
Mhm.
And who would want the job also to be the Antler Queen? It's like you're probably gonna die. It's a terrible job. Like if anyone dies, it's on you. But apparently they all want it. And then so everyone is happy for her. Like even Mari and Pink Hat Girl seem to be happy for her. And Misty does a big grand bow. And then freaking Shauna is a
Somebody in the comments said Akila bowing to Natalie was the most heartfelt moment in the episode, and I'm sad I missed it. I didn't see it. I
I
didn't see Akila, and I did not see the bow, so
it was cute. And,
oh, I'm bummed. Okay.
and then Javi, not Javi, sorry, R.I.P. Javi. Um, Travis takes her hands and puts them on his heart, like he's cool with her.
Well, like the
He
Lottie thing, because that's
yeah,
what Lottie does. She does the,
mhm.
like, hand
And
on
he's not
heart
mad about
weirdness.
Javi anymore now that he ate
Yeah.
the heart. But so Natalie's, like, laughing at Misty, but she's also, like, kinda beaming about the whole thing that everyone's, like, bowing to her, and then Shauna is, like, a bitter Betty and is just like, "Mhm, great, so happy for you." Like, even Mari is nicer about it than Shauna. So, Laura, sometimes Shauna is very hard to like, I will give you that.
Why do we need a why do we need a leader?
I
I
don't
don't
know.
wanna get into a political debate. I'm asking a question because it feels like that person is asking for it. There's going to be a murder. There's g
Yeah, yeah. I think well, first of all, I don't think there's just one, and the actors have pretty much given away that there's more than one Antler Queen. So
Because why? Here's what I wanna know. I just wanna know at this point, is the Antler Queen the person that's about to be killed? So it's their,
no,
like,
I
king
think
for
it's
a
might
day?
be the person who survives being killed, like, who
Okay.
survives the hunt gets to be it, maybe.
So maybe
I mean,
those
that's
the
what
pit
happened with
trap and things like that are set because during the hunt, if a hunter is killed, then they're the kill, and then you are the new
yes.
because you would have pulled so the
It's
queen
like
card
Harry
basically
Potter
is
and the
like
wands. If your wand beats another wizard, you win and
oh,
you
that's
get
right.
control of that wand.
It feels weird to have Natalie in control, I'm just gonna say it.
It does feel weird. It feels like they wrote it to surprise us. We did get that flashback when she was ODing where she had blocked that memory kind of her with the
With
antler,
the
but we had
yeah.
also gotten Lottie standing in front of antlers and we had gotten Coach Ben standing in front of antlers. So, you know, it wasn't that obvious that it was going to be her. But
There's no chance that they're doing things based on fans figuring stuff out, right?
I pray to God not, because
The
that's so annoying.
the only reason I'm asking that question is because there was that interview where they said Javi was supposed to be Adam Martin, and they changed it.
Who said that?
But I think it was the showrunner.
They
It was one
changed
of
it
the
because so many people figured it out?
yeah. And I was like, "Well, don't do that. You should
And
just
don't
keep
tell
that the
us that.
same. You should
And
just
don't
keep
tell
it the
us
same."
that
Does
if
anyone
that's
know what I'm
true.
talking about? When did they say that?
Did
I'll find
anyone
it.
else hear that? So, I
No, a
don't
lot
like
of people
that.
it's all over the place that
Yeah,
was
I
a
don't like
thing.
that.
I'm
Um,
hoping that's not true. Oh, they didn't change it for that reason? Andy, am I spreading falsehoods?
they said
You
they
said they
thought
thought
about it.
about it. Oh, so they thought about changing it?
Interesting.
It wasn't
Um,
because of the fans, that had nothing to do with that. They just changed it
yeah,
because
I
we
hope that
needed to change it.
I don't like that. I know now because of Reddit and Twitter, it's like they're not getting real-time
Oh, okay, I
reactions,
see.
but
Thank you.
they're still getting. I think they
Ye
considered the idea, but they changed their minds long before people had seen it even.
Okay, and I agree that it does make the Adam storyline kind of useless. I have a lot of questions about where we're going with that storyline and what the point of it was this season to
None. There
what,
was
get
none.
Shauna's family back together? I
There
don't
was
know
none.
what we're doing. Like, why are we
It's
doing
to
that
traumatize
storyline?
Cali and make her as damaged as her mom. That's my theory. So, the wilderness is now in Cali. We'll get to that.
Oh, yeah.
So, um, so what was I
It was the
saying?
wilderness themselves.
Exactly.
Sorry. They
Um,
were,
oh,
Ben
so
snuck
and
back.
Christina Ricci did an interview where she said she loved Natalie so much because she was our first Antler Queen. And so she specifically said it. Like,
Oh,
she was our first Antler Queen. So there are others. Which we had thought maybe because the actress who plays adult Thaisa had said, I think we're all the Antler Queen. Why does it have to be one person? And so people didn't know if she was just speculating or dropping a hint. So interesting.
interesting.
So Natalie is smiling. It's really weird. Because she was just feeling so guilty about Javi, and
It's a
now
pained
she's like,
smile. It's like she forgot how to smile. It's like,
she's not used to it. Those
if
muscles need to be practiced or they atrophy, and they've been in the
yeah,
wilderness a while.
yeah, it's like when I'm in my house for a couple of days just working on something, and then I go
Yeah.
to the bank, and when I go to smile, my lip cracks on the side because I realize that I have
Yeah.
not used that muscle in a second.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it happens often, but it
Yeah.
does happen.
So, we see Shauna writing in her journal in the attic,
Yeah.
and bitter Betty, and she's like,
Wow.
how could it not have been me?
Also,
Will it
finally, she's writing in the journals. Let's give a 3
Yeah, they
cheers
dropped
for
that storyline.
writing in the journals. Let's
Yeah.
go.
So,
Here we go.
how could it not have been me? I'm willing to do what it takes. I used to think it was Jackie who made me feel invisible, but dot dot dot, it's just me. So like insert Eeyore noise. So she's very sad and jealous, even though she just went through the trauma of having a baby. Like, do you really want to also be Antler Queen? Take a break.
Yeah,
So
no, well, so they're setting this well, also, if you're
there's
going by, like, people who do deserve a break, it might be Shauna at this point in the wilderness.
Yeah. I don't think being a Antler Queen is a break, though. I think it's a burden.
Yeah, but I don't think Shauna sees it like that.
It's funny because she's very immature. She's a teenager. She's
Mhm.
complaining in her diary about being jealous of another girl. And is this gonna lead to the factions breaking up more next season?
It's gonna lead to something because we're seeing it at the very end of the episode.
Right.
So it's gotta be important that they're leaving us with Shauna's dissatisfied
Right.
with her status in the cabin
Yeah.
or in the what used to be the cabin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, So she smells something and it is smoke, and there's a fire in the cabin, and she grabs all her journals because they're the most important thing, and they are going to cause so many problems in the future. It probably would have been better if she had just let them burn.
Yeah, just
And
for my sake, because I was so wrong on that theory. I
I
was
know.
right on an important one, though. We'll get to it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Mhm.
So all the girls are passed out downstairs. No one woke from the fire. Okay. So, and the fire is outside, but there's smoke. And so the doors like are jammed and the things are hot, and so they're trying to get out, and they start grabbing their stuff, and there's like it felt like 30-second montage of them gathering their things.
I think that they're assuming people will slow it down to see what
Or
they grabbed.
or I thought it was like people are going to be like, how are they going to survive? They're never going to, that's so unrealistic. But they're like, see, they grabbed a pot. They have a pot.
This is exactly why, because
It's
people like
people like
me,
us.
when we are, like, in the dregs waiting for season 3 to happen, and it's
Yeah.
2 years from now,
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Okay, I'm just gonna go see what they took from the cabin, and I'm gonna have a list, and I'm gonna write it all down."
Yeah.
Be like, "Nope, we didn't see them take that. They didn't
Yeah.
take
It
that."
did
Yeah,
take that. It's like
but I think it's
that game where you have to close your eyes at a party and there's like stuff laid out on it, like a baby shower, and then you open your eyes and remember what was on the table. Do you know what I'm talking
yeah, I
about?
know exactly what you're talking
Um,
about. Yeah.
so I don't know why I mentioned that now.
No,
So
it's good.
anyways, they grab their stuff, and Van and Thaisa get the door down. Newly appointed Antler Queen Natalie doesn't do much, but that's
She's
fine.
escorted out first.
She's the
They're
queen.
like,
Yeah,
"Your
you go
Majesty."
first. And then the weirdest part ever is Van pushes Ty out the front door and says, "You go first." And Thaisa says, "No, come with me." And she says, "I'll be right behind you." And then Thaisa runs, and for a split second, you're like, Van is going to die in a fire. Like she has almost died in a fire. So
10
many.
times.
This will be
Yeah.
thrice now
Yeah,
that she has survived a
thrice
fire.
into the flames.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
exactly.
but then she just runs out of the house like nothing. Like, what was that beat for? Shouldn't she have at least been like, I forgot something
No,
important?
this is what is gonna be important is because Van grabs whatever Van stayed to grab
What
is
did
going to
she
be
say to grab?
we don't know, that's the mystery,
But
it's
did
going to be
she say
important.
to grab
I
something?
counted it, I saw
Because
this,
that makes me
I
feel better, because to me it looked like
no,
she just
it gives
stayed
it a
for no
full
reason
couple
for the
beats.
drama.
Ty runs out and we get like moment, 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 Van. So
Yeah,
we
and then
do
as
Van
she's
does
running
stay
out,
for a
the
second. So
roof
she is
starts to crash
she's
in.
getting something. I just really want to know what it is
Yeah.
because it's important.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I
Thank you
hope
so
you're
much for the
right.
super sticker.
That's Raimi.
Oh, thank you, Raimi. Raimi, have you
Raimi, get
watched
out
it?
of here. Have you not
Raimi,
watched it? Get out of here.
have you watched it? Are you just coming by to give super stickers and
I
leave?
mean, I'll take your
I
money,
love
but
you,
I
Raimi.
am
Thank you.
so think that you need to leave.
Raimi is
Um,
I love you so
so
much. Go
no,
go follow Raimi's cat on Insta. Raimi, does your cat have an Instagram handle yet? This cat Polo is out of control. I've never it's like if there was a cat born to be Insta famous, it's this cat. Can you please
what's
put his handle down
put
in
the
the
handle,
thing?
Raimi? I want to
Raimi.
follow. Yeah,
No,
you
Raimi,
have
don't
to
leave. Just
leave,
put the
Raimi.
cats. You
You
do have to
must
leave.
leave, but
But
put
put the
the
cats
handle
thing. Sorry,
first.
we're only
Thank
yelling
you.
at Raimi to leave because she's not seen the show. That's all.
uh,
Put
Van,
Polo the cats thing down there.
Van stayed to grab her Ferris Bueller VHS. See
Yeah.
that? I would buy that. She stopped to get the VCR. Like,
Yeah.
I would buy that.
Yeah.
So
Polo Kitty.
Hello
Okay.
Kid it. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Thank you. Oh, thank you,
thank you so
Impoverished.
much. So um
Oh.
so I hope you're right. And there was a point to that, because I was really mad and
There's a point, and I
it
think it's
felt
gonna be important.
dumb.
Yes.
So they're just watching it burn. The whole cabin is burning and collapsing. And several people noticed, and I did. This picture
Yeah.
didn't grab it very well, but look at everyone's look of horror. Like it, like look at Travis, like look at Shauna. But this shot doesn't capture it very well. Lottie is like almost laughing. Like she has a very
Yeah.
strange expression on her face, almost like she's like, fire is pretty. um that's beautiful. And I'm
She was ready to watch it burn.
She was ready. I think she is maybe upset with the wilderness. I don't know.
Yeah.
So she can't hear it anymore. So I don't know.
Yeah.
So
Sorry, I had a Natalie jacket on. It had to be removed because it was hot. I wore
also,
it in honor of
like,
Natalie.
wouldn't you start to think I picked the wrong leader and now the wilderness burned down our cabin? Like, they gave us Javi, and then I gave the Antler Queen throne to Natalie, and then we lost our shelter.
Well, you and I
It's
would.
mad at us for
You and
something.
I would definitely be off talking about that.
I would be like, "Why doesn't the
Yeah.
wilderness like us anymore?" We would be
And
like
then we'd
mean girls
and
at a
then we'd
party, like, "Did you see what the wilderness is wearing? The
and then we'd be
wilderness
trying to
hair,
decide if we should
so
tell
bad."
other people that
Yeah.
what we've
Should we
noticed.
bring them in on it? No, I don't trust them. They're
Don't
on the
trust them.
wilderness's side, and we
We
know that the
might get drummed out
wilderness.
of the
Yeah. Oh, we
cabin.
totally would. We're
Okay.
Mari. So,
Alright.
Lottie and the wilderness are on a break. The wilderness wanted to speak with other people.
Yeah,
Yes.
seriously, the
Thank you, Jake. So,
it's complicated.
so the song is Killing Moon, and it's like fate up against your will. You
Well,
give
and it's from
yourself
the
to him,
'80s. It's
and it's
Echo and the
all that
Bunnymen. I
fate
don't
stuff.
understand.
So how are they going to survive without shelter? We are to assume that Coach Ben did this, right? Or is that a full misdirect?
100% he did this.
Unless it's
100%.
a full misdirect. I don't know if that would be a crazy misdirect.
Yes, and
But
yes, Jake, killing Moon twice. I feel like that's important too. Why did they play it twice? They don't normally play them twice.
no,
It's
except
very
that
strange.
Vienna
And to
song.
play that oh, because that was the Natalie Travis theme, and that didn't come back this season.
I know.
I was so upset. We had opportunities to play that song, the
For sure.
Ultravox Vienna song. I'm upset.
Uh
Anyways,
so are they going to they're obviously going to know it was Coach Ben. Are they going to go after him now? No one knows where he is because the only one who knew where that place was Javi.
well, the only reason they're going to know it was him is because he put a bolt on that door. Because whatever he did to that front door, right? He put
That
like a
might burn. I don't
wedge
know if
on
they'll
there.
see that. We didn't see that for sure if he did, but I think he probably did block it. And I
Yeah.
think it was what do you think it was? People online were thinking it was like he was done with them, that he wanted to just some people thought it was nice, like he was putting them out of their misery so they won't become monsters and won't kill any more people. And
Yeah.
some people think it was more like he was like, it's me against them. They're going to kill me. I have to get rid of them. Or he was like,
No.
they're evil. I need to do this.
That
The third one.
That's kinda what I think. That's the feeling that I get
Yeah.
just right off the top, but I
No. Yeah.
haven't thought about it deeply, is that he's trying to
I think
he's
because
like,
he
"This is
wasn't
this is
planning on
about to
doing
get
it.
horrible."
He
And if
wasn't planning on doing it until he saw them like crowning Natalie, and Natalie was his one ally.
and I think that's also it,
And now
is that
she's
his one
gone.
ally is now the queen of this weird cult-like faction that they're creating, this weird wilder religion that
Yeah.
they're doing, and
Yeah.
he's like, "This can only go bad." And now my one ally is the head of it. So,
Now
it's a
we
shame.
it
And they
we
know where and she knows where well, no, she doesn't know she knows he's
she
in a
saw
hiding
that
spot,
right, but she
but
doesn't know where it
she
is.
doesn't know where it
She
is.
had seen that tree, but she was not allowed at that moment to really realize
Which I'll
that
never
that
get
moss
over.
on that tree was very important. Thank you, Travis. So,
Travis,
yeah, I'm not over that.
you really
So,
messed up. That was
um,
really irritating.
a theory that I read is that
Yeah.
since we get that big shot of the smoke coming up,
Yeah.
that maybe this is gonna draw some rescuers and people will see smoke and they will come and Coach Ben will say, I'm the only one here. And he'll get rescued and they get left there somehow.
Please let that happen. That would be
Wouldn't that
amazing.
be good?
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
If that's the end of next season or something, or like the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yeah.
Oh, that's such a good idea. I hope they do that. Because we know that there's another survivor, or that's the rumor is that there's one more survivor who we
Yeah.
think is probably Coach Ben.
Also, Brandy
Wow.
is pointing out that that's what people do to yellow jackets. They burn their nest at night. and they usually
Oh,
swarm
wow.
around their queen when that happens. Um,
Which they did in this. They definitely pushed Natalie, like, out the door. They're like, "Natalie, Natalie." They're
yeah,
calling her to get her out the door.
yeah,
This is a fascinating I wonder what's about to happen with Coach Ben, or
yeah,
they're gonna hunt him.
for sure. I'm surprised they haven't already. So, okay,
Yeah.
now we're with the adults. They're doing that Russian roulette with the poison. Lottie's going to drink it, but then Shauna decides we need to do a hunt, but she's faking it. You think she's into it for a second. She's like, no, no. She's like, we're just trying to buy time here. We're going to get Lottie committed, and then we'll just make her think we're going to do this hunt. This is the best plan that you came up with? Okay.
It's not a
So
terrible plan. We've had worse plans
you
on the
could just
show.
not do the Russian roulette and not do the hunt. You could just leave. Your cars are there. You're grown women with autonomy, but they
It
seem to be
sometimes
like
it feels like
easily.
they can't.
Sometimes it does feel like is it the wilderness or have they been given some sort of sedatives from the cult that are making them more pliable?
Or are they trapped in their own psyche?
Is it
I
that
have
that peer pressure with girls?
you know what? These are all really good questions that we could have explored had we not gone on a wellness journey
Right.
in episode 7 for
Yeah.
the entire episode when they have their reunion and they're dancing around a fire and
Yeah.
Shauna's got a goat.
Yeah.
I I'm gonna get over it, but I'm not
Yeah. But
I
that
just
goat
was
was
not
really
happy
cute.
about this. It was fine, but, like, let's see the
Bruce.
goat for a second. Show us some B-roll of the goat. There he
Yeah.
is.
So, they're gonna get Lottie committed, and they're gonna do the pretend hunt the next night, we guess, because suddenly it's the next day,
Mhm.
but we never see them decide, like, "We can wait until tomorrow," even though all this stuff is happening and Sean is gonna be arrested for murder, and it's fine. Like,
They had to fit a lot of stuff into
we'll wait until
my
tomorrow."
notes on the wilderness versus the current timeline is like
Angry. Yeah, my notes are,
because
like,
there's
excited.
so much in the current.
Yeah,
So many things. They're
and it's
tying up all these
also
alright.
so th So, yeah, the plot holes are pit size. They are pit girl size. So they,
Yeah. Thank you,
Walter
Daniel
has snuck
Woods.
in
I've been
to
good at that since I was a kid.
she's good at noises.
My goat
Um,
noise.
so
I've been working on that for a long time.
Walter snuck into the cult wearing purple, looks great in purple, and he and Misty reunite. And then
Which made me really happy. Sorry, I'm gonna need Jake in the chat. Sneakers, question mark.
they were
They
like
focus on
camo.
his sneakers
They
for a
were
hot minute.
camo.
Am I supposed to know what those are? They're camo on one side, canvas on the other.
Interestingly enough, he wasn't showing his calves, which was one of the things that
Yeah,
attracted her most to him is the
yeah.
calves. She loves a calf.
That is true. So why did they focus on the sneakers? Just to show us they weren't Converse?
It was strange. Yeah, I don't know.
I
Um,
almost expected him to be in this is might be controversial, but the Heaven's Gate shoe?
yeah,
Because if he thought he was going into a cult,
totally. He
which
would
seems
do
like a
it.
very Walter thing to do to
He'd be
then
like,
wear
"I'm
that.
cosplaying as a
Weren't they
cult
all in a
member."
Nike? They
Yeah,
were all in the same shoe.
yeah.
So,
So
oh,
I don't know what that
it's a
means.
reverse of his intro shot. Got it. Okay.
So Van says to Thaisa, "Lottie isn't sick, and if she is, then so are you." So, like, we've all felt it inside of us. Yesterday, Van, you said you wanted none of this mystical poop that Lottie was spewing. You said, Lottie's crazy. I don't want to go anywhere near her cult. I'm just driving you because you haven't slept in 10 days, Thaisa. I'm just driving you. I'm not going in. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. And now Van is like, she's not sick. It's in her and it's in all of us.
Fan,
What is happening?
I need
And
you
so
to
I
pick a
know she
lane.
might be thinking that maybe this ritual can cure her cancer, that there is maybe now like hope for her if someone else gets sacrificed.
Did it seem like
Um,
she was looking for hope at any time?
no, she had resigned herself to her cancer and
Right.
letting her business fail, and she didn't seem to be like fighting at all. And so now all of a sudden she's just like in the woods. She has now become like deeply mystical about the woods now, and it's in all in them, and they shouldn't lock up Lottie because they should have each other's backs. and they should take care of it themselves. Like, but Lottie just tried to kill you all, Russian roulette style with poison.
So is this all like just a comment on disassociation where like
I think it's
people
bad
like
writing and
are
it's
one thing
flip-flopping.
and then Ty all of a sudden has this other person that's within her, but so does Van and so does Shauna and so does Misty, and it's all
Then
of
you know
them
what?
have
Don't be
like
so verbal
anyone?
about your disdain for Lottie and the cult and then totally flip to her side the very next day.
That was my question when I got done watching this episode and I asked Oliver. I said, "Here my biggest question is, Lottie, why is everyone so mad at Lottie in the current time? Not here at the camp, not right now. But all of season 1 and season 2, it's been like, oh, Lottie, Lottie. And Lottie was like the big bad at the end of season 1, where it's
I
like, who's
think
Lottie Matthews and why did she take all of Travis's money? And
right.
then we move into this and everyone's like, we found Lottie. And it's this big thing of they're kind of scared, kind of there's something about it that doesn't line up to actually what's playing out here. I don't
No, I think
understand.
it's because when Lottie got locked up and was in an institution for a long time, it
Okay.
helped them realized that she was crazy and she was at fault for them doing all that crazy stuff because she got them thinking about the wilderness and thinking it was real and thinking
I
there
don't
was an
think
it.
she
And
really
then
is at
it's
fault though.
no, but this was them. Then it makes them feel better about it
Okay.
because
Someone to blame.
she was in charge and she made them believe in all this stuff and believe in sacrifices and spilling blood. It wants blood. And so they were like, well, that would Lottie turned out to be crazy, so that makes me feel better. It was a shared delusion, but she started the delusion.
Yeah.
But so then but then when she got out and she's leading more people, it's like terrifying because she's leading a new group of people. When she
Okay.
led us, we almost all died and some of us did die. That's what
But
I
she
think.
didn't really lead you.
She she's she started it all. She anointed the Antler
Yeah.
Queen and she was the de facto first Antler Queen,
She did the
even though
heart
they're
she
calling
did the heart in
Natalie.
the tree stump.
Yeah. And she killed the bear. She brought the birds. She's the one who's like she explained all that stuff about the baby and we asked for Shauna to live and like all that stuff. Like
She
that.
didn't though. We didn't know any of that when it was happening, that they were exchanging baby for Shauna.
Yeah, that's what they said. She said we prayed to have Shauna live and we
One
lost the
like,
baby.
in a different episode, in one sentence. We have no idea because when they're around asking the wilderness for help, they're not saying, "Please save Shauna, please take the baby." They're not that's
No,
not
but
what's happening in that scene.
Mari did say, "Please save Shauna." Someone pointed out.
She
I don't
does,
know
but
if
that's
that counts,
again, that's one thing like, do you know what I'm saying?
but
I okay.
they did that like sacrifice thing where they put the button and everything. Like she led all that
For what?
for whatever they wanted to happen. They thought it was supposed to be the baby that was going to
But
change
don't you feel
everything.
like they should be discussing this? Like, what if somebody's putting a button on the skull and being like, "I
Maybe
hope the
Lottie was
baby lives.
wrong the
I
whole
hope the
time.
baby lives."
Yeah, maybe that button was a terrible idea, Van. You couldn't have found something else better.
Was it Van that
I
put the
don't
button on the
I think it was Van. But like,
button gate? That's
yeah,
gonna be the new
yeah. But I think
button, who put the button
she
on the
was
skull?
the unofficial leader for sure. There's
Yeah.
like no doubt in that.
They're
So,
just
and they
making it
want
seem like everybody has had this horrible, horrible experience with her, and I just don't see it yet. I feel like
maybe there's more
n
coming.
Van is not wrong in that they're all doing this.
Yes, but again, with teenagers, frontal lobe and peer pressure and stuff, and
Mhm.
there's a leader saying all this stuff, and then they're all starving, they're going to believe this person
So they
who's
would
saying
never
all this
have
stuff.
had the idea to eat one of their dead friends if Lottie had nothing to do with that.
Is Lottie what called the
The
snow down
snow?
to make the Jackie smoker? I don't know.
I still
She,
feel like their reaction to her
but
was
they need someone to blame for their actions.
a scapegoat,
Correct.
like Bruce.
Like Bruce. Yeah, exactly. So, okay. So Natalie is burning non-queen hearts for the deck, so there's only the one
Yeah,
queen.
that took me a minute. I got
I
really
was like,
confused.
"What?"
Okay.
Why
not.
can't you just leave in the other queens? Because there's only supposed to be one, but it's the Queen of Hearts that you have to pick. So
Yeah,
what does it
I
matter
don't
if
know
there's
why they're doing
extra
it like
cards?
that. Yeah.
Okay. So then Shauna, there must be a reason I'm not getting. Shauna is dulling knives, I believe,
I
because
like that.
she wants to
Yes.
do a fake hunt. She is like,
It's
this is
great.
not real, guys.
Yeah.
So Natalie then goes to warn Lisa, and you're like, Lisa, I forgot about you. You must be important to this, right?
Which is
And
what everyone's asking all season, is Lisa's gonna be really
she
important.
must be really important, right?
Maybe?
So she goes to her. By the way, Lisa, look at the room you're in. Girl, it's a cult. Look around you. Look at all that
Yeah.
purple. Look at what you're doing, dyeing those socks
And
purple.
you don't even have a dryer. You're
You're
just
in a
hanging them
cult.
on a clothesline.
Girl, it's an
This is a
MLM.
this is a
Like,
cult.
it's a cult.
Yeah.
So if anyone has ever been in that room, just I'm telling you now, you are in
Just
a cult.
leave.
Yeah, you're in a cult. So Natalie says to her, "You need to leave
Mhm.
before nightfall, something bad." And then
Yeah.
she says, "Thank you for trying to teach me about forgiveness. It's a nice idea." And to me, that meant she still can't forgive herself for Javi, because we just learned what happened with Javi. But then I don't think she ever forgave herself for her father dying in season 1. She just carries like a lot of guilt on her, but especially the Javi thing, probably.
Yeah.
So she still hasn't forgiven her. So then
It was a sad moment.
it was sad.
Yeah.
So Cali and Jeff are driving to the compound
C Why? Sorry, why is
to
Callie
get
and Je
Shauna
why is
to
Callie in the
go on
car?
the lam.
But did I miss something
They have
last episode?
decided they're gonna go on the lam. We're assuming that
Oh.
they have discussed it in a scene that we have not seen, and Jeff is very sad about missing his favorite takeout if they go on the lam, and that's what I would be worried about if I had to go in Witsec. What about my favorite Chinese food place? Like
Mhm.
I relate to Jeff. And then Callie realizes there's a gun in the car, and it's like comic relief. And then the cops are following them because the cops don't know where Shauna is, so they're following. It's just all that, like, just to all we understand, writers, that you're trying to all get them there in one place, but it's so clunky.
But
So
this also could have been spread. We easily could have had those 2 come in episode 8 or episode 7.
mhm.
This you could have stretched a little
Yeah,
and left out some other. This makes so much more sense knowing that there were new writers and directors on every episode. They are
1000.
not
When
go
he said it, I thought,
don't you
there
do
we
it.
go.
Don't you do it.
Laura did it. I didn't do it.
Don't you do it.
That's an inside joke for the listeners of our podcast.
It's
So
cruel. It's true.
uh, I think when I saw that, and thank you, Laura, because you are the one who sent me that video that explained that the show writers only wrote the first episode.
Yeah,
It explained so much. It really did. It made all the pieces fit together.
right.
So all the pieces that didn't fit together, it made sense why they weren't fitting together.
At
So
all, yeah.
yeah.
It feels
So
sorta disjointed, whereas the last season, like, I'm interested to watch this all together as one, how I watched season 1 to see if it goes how season 1 did, where it's just click, 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 click,
that's
click.
interesting. That's because did you binge all of season 1? You didn't
I
watch
did.
it week to week.
No.
I watched it week to week after the first few episodes,
Oh, okay.
and the pacing felt really good. And it didn't feel
Yeah.
like a lot of that, "Oh, they just oh, that's a." It's like, what is that called? Deus ex machina, where
Deus ex machina,
Deus
yeah.
ex machina,
The God in the
and
machine,
yeah, and it's like they're just, "Oh, well, I'll just say that this is then that's why they're there. Okay, sure."
where it's like it
And I'm
okay, so
Kathy Bates in Misery, like, "You can't just that's a fake out. You can't do that just
they're just
because."
doing a big thing at the end to sort of explain, like, that sort of yeah.
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 So Walter, for no reason, again, is in the kitchen of the compound cooking and singing Send in the Clowns. And it's nighttime now. So, just to clarify, daytime, the cops and Callie and Jeff go to the compound and go to look for Shauna. Cut to nighttime, they are all still looking for Shauna. She's not hiding. how big is this compound? And they're just walking free range and they're not running into any cult members. I know Lottie was trying to keep the cult members out of the way, but like,
Well, didn't she kill them?
no, because because Lisa's still there.
Well, she says very mysteriously,
I'll get rid of them. She didn't
no,
say it like
she
that.
says, "No, I can assure you they're all in their beds,"
Yeah.
or something along
Like
those lines,
like
which
Heaven's Gate.
like, good night.
Yeah.
The good night, good night.
Right.
Did
Well, that
anyone
no,
else think that? I thought that
no.
she had
The reason I
phenobarbitaled
don't think
everyone.
that is because when the cops come at the very end, I feel like they would have found all of the people dead in their beds.
Do you feel like they also maybe should have been more purple people milling about when the cops surround the
Yes.
compound?
Yeah.
Something weird is she drugged them to sleep,
She
if
must have
nothing
drugged them
else.
with the
Yeah.
smoothies. So, but like, why
Wait,
are
they waited till it was dark to sneak in, and then Walter watched them on video monitors that he installed. How did you know that, Jake?
when did Walter install video monitors
Why were
at
there
the
video
compound?
monitors?
He brought video monitors with him in his car and installed them? I don't think so.
Where are you getting that,
I
Jake?
think you're
That
making
doesn't
that
feel
up.
right.
But I
I
could
feel like
buy
he's
that they
not.
snuck in after dark. I could buy that.
Oh, that was it. Lottie said, "I made certain of it." She said, "You're
Yeah, I
sure
made
they're all in their
she's very
beds." See, Andy
formal when
again.
she's culty. She's
No, it's
super
not that. It's I'm telling you, the wording feels like something is bad.
sinister.
Yes,
Yeah.
something is
Well,
bad.
if we get season 3 and they're all dead, I'm totally willing to believe she drugged them or killed them, but I just don't
Yeah.
think that I feel like the cops would have found it. Um, so
The cops are competent when we need them to be, incompetent when then it's
yeah,
useful. It's
yeah.
just yeah.
So it's nighttime
My
now.
memory is that Walter is with the cult. Oh, okay, okay, okay,
No,
okay.
yeah, a lot of people think that. Um, I don't think he's with the cult, but
He might be with a cult,
some people think he's with
not
the
the occult.
alternative cult.
I'm not saying the
Yeah,
occult like Satan. I'm
yeah.
saying just
A
another
couple
other cult.
people eaters came to see
Yeah,
the cops at the gate during the daytime, which is how I know the cops didn't sneak in the day at night. But maybe
yeah.
Callie and Jeff snuck in at night. I don't know. So
I do agree with,
some
by the way,
people
all of
just
the
own
comments
purple.
that Jake or that Walter is with a totally different group. A different, like, I do agree with all of you, and we're gonna get heavier into this in our next conversation next weekend.
He does
Like the
say
theories.
to Kevin, he's like, "I'm not with this group. I'm with another group, like Citizen Detectives. We're a great group of people."
Yeah, I
Um,
think that yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that, but he is in the kitchen and he is he gives Kevin hot cocoa. Kevin, a cop, accepts a beverage from a who he thinks is a cult member who's way too excited to meet him. Kevin, you
Hot
may have gotten
chocolate
what's
too.
coming
It
from
feels
you.
weird. I would not
That's
accept
really
that.
dumb,
Yeah.
Kevin.
Yeah,
That's
that
really
feels
dumb.
weird.
Dateline has taught us you do not accept beverages. No.
Right.
So Jeff enters the kitchen because again, he's been looking for Shauna for like several hours. I don't know. Anyways, I'm nitpicking. So Walter and Jeff and Kevin are there. And Kevin confesses to killing Adam, which we all had thought he was going to do. He
Yeah.
even offered to do it earlier in the
Which would have
season.
been great if he had done it episode 2, and then
He
we would have
offered.
moved on, and
Let's
then
have
Jeff
him
would have
do it
been out,
again.
and yeah, we would have been good.
But he's such a good husband, though. And he goes like this, like with his hands up.
Like,
So,
but way too high. They're, like, over his head like
yeah.
this. Yeah, it's
Also,
good.
hot cocoa, thank you, Sheila, is what they gave to Jackie when she was dead, right? Is that what
Mm,
you're referring to?
mhm.
Um, so yeah, he confesses, and then Kevin drops dead in the middle of his confession.
Yeah.
And Walter is like, "Hiya, phenobarbital. I'm Walter. You must be Jeff. Let's move this body, buddy." And poor Jeff is so pure and traumatized, and he's too simple for all of this. He doesn't understand the plan.
And I love
Nor
it
do
that,
I.
like Then Walter gets his firm voice, "Jeffrey, does anyone call you Jeffrey?" Like, he
And then
does this
Jeff
whole
goes,
thing.
"Yeah, my mom."
My mom is
No,
like,
she
"No, she
doesn't.
doesn't, not really." Like,
What?
it's this whole I feel like half of that was ad-libbed, which is
Yeah.
great. But the Walter's firm voice of like, "You're gonna hang in there with me for
Yeah.
this." I think that, this only works because it's Elijah Wood, I have to
Mhm.
say, and
Mhm.
because Elijah Wood looks like a young child who
Yeah.
has been just expanded into an adult all of a
Yeah.
sudden,
Yeah.
and he's great. This is
And
perfection.
he's performing exactly as Misty did the last season with
Yeah.
tying up the
Yes,
murder,
he
and
is.
that's something I didn't really like because the show is so pro, like, strong women taking care
Mhm.
of business,
Yeah.
and then they have this man come in and fix the whole Adam Martin situation for them. It's a little annoying to me, but I do love Walter.
I
So
think that he's fixing the Adam Martin thing for probably a very nefarious reason, which we haven't found out yet, so don't
that's
get mad about that
I hope
yet.
so,
Yeah. And
but
also Misty came in and
maybe
tried to
I
take
think he
care
might
of it
just love
last season.
Misty.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
Misty took care of it first, but then it got ruined because Natalie didn't bury the body deep enough. So,
no, there was a
meanwhile,
bunch of stuff that went wrong.
there
Shauna
was
didn't think to go to the art gallery. Shauna shouldn't have.
Shauna should
Yeah.
have asked for a lawyer. She had a cookie cake telling her, "Ask for a lawyer." So,
Remember how good episode 1 was? Remember the cookie cake?
the
And
cookie
then
cake
she
was great.
goes to and, like,
You know why? Because
harasses the guy at the hotel?
the showrunners wrote it.
It's
So
great. First episode clips along, you're all excited,
yeah.
and then
Meanwhile, Callie is wandering around dark in the woods, like looking for her mom. Again, there are not that many places to look on that compound, and Shauna is
you don't
not hiding. It's not that big. So she runs into Creepy Cop and she has taken her mom's gun from the car. And you think she's going to shoot Creepy Cop,
you
which would
hope
make
you
no
hope she's gonna
plot
shoot him,
sense whatsoever,
but
but
it'd
I
be
wanted it to
satisfying.
happen.
Yeah, it'd be satisfying.
I was rooting for it, even though I would have been angry. I would have been like, that makes no sense. Now they got to run. They're cop killers now. Okay. Um, but she doesn't. And then Thaisa and Van, because Van has convinced Thaisa to not get Lottie locked up. So they call the hospital
Why?
and say, "We've calmed down Lottie. You don't need to come with your psych team." Because apparently they called the hospital, and which we never saw, and said, "We want her picked up immediately." So
Well, that's
they
why Misty was rooting
rooting
around
around
in
for the
Lottie's
pills. Yeah.
stuff, yeah.
So the girls gather around a fire and they put on cool masks that Thaisa and Van made during like Joanne's craft corner at the compound, which I do believe there were arts and crafts at that compound. That's for sure one of the therapies is arts and crafts. So Lottie arrives and she has a sharp knife and has this giddy, unsettling energy that they're going to
And a
do the
and a
ritual.
choker,
Does that bother you?
a little bit, and a long velvet
Yeah.
shirt dress, but
Uh,
more the choker because it was '90s. I
she's
was
back
like,
to
"Oh."
wearing gold, which is she had gone off the gold, which was
Yeah.
meant something. It was like her spiraling, but now she's back to the gold.
Well, it's like a
So,
dark green gold. It's like a
oh,
burnt
maybe it
gold,
was.
so I wonder
Yeah.
if it's like her gold has been subdued, but she's not carrying the right knife. That's
She's
bad.
she's carrying a real sharp knife,
Her own knife
her
with the
own
white
knife,
handle, the
and
other knives have black
Shauna had
handles.
dulled the knives. Yeah.
Yeah, Shauna should
And
be
so
worried.
she shuffles a deck of cards. And this is when I start going, ladies, you do not have to do this. You have cars here, you can leave. But they're like stalling because they think this psych team is going to come. Men in white coats are going to come
So
in
why
any
are Van
second.
and Ty doing this?
Right? So Van, I
Okay.
think, thinks that it might cure her of cancer and has suddenly decided this is a good idea. Why is Thaisa doing it? Why is
Because Ty's
Shauna?
not
Why
Ty.
is Misty?
You
Why
get
is
to
Natalie?
see you watch Ty flip.
Not yet, and that's
No,
not
not
till
yet.
later
They
in the
she
ceremony.
He flips during the card pulls, and you
It
see it really clearly,
which
but I
pissed
don't.
me off because now we're saying Ty can flip to bad Ty when she's awake? That's
No,
a new
that's been a
rule.
theory for a long time with a lot of people, that she's flipping in and out constantly.
I did say that at the end of season 1 when she smirks when she won the election, that
Well, and
maybe
she does it when
she had
she runs the car into with
Yeah, but
her
she didn't
wife
look
in it,
like
with
she had
Simone
slipped,
in it.
but you're right, you're
Yes, she
right,
does.
you're right. I kinda felt like she had just fallen
She
asleep at the wheel.
stares at her with the devil's glare. She's like, "Mm."
Yeah,
And
but
then the
she didn't
car goes
smirk.
into the other car.
She didn't
She doesn't
smile.
always smirk.
No, you're right, she doesn't always smile. So,
You gotta watch for the eyes.
the eyes are always red because of those contacts. Or they only
No,
red when
they're
she's
not
bad Van?
always red,
I
I
think
believe.
they're red a lot of times when she's normal Thai.
See, I don't
I
I
shouldn't say
have a lot.
normal.
You know what I
Um,
would have loved this season? And Oliver said the same thing. Could we have maybe gotten a chunk of time on Ty? We got nothing. And I know you hate this about that
no,
I'm
I
gonna bring up
agree. No,
Sammy
no,
and
and
the
I don't like where is Sammy? Someone picked him up. I'm sure he's fine, but like, where is Sammy and is Simone gonna live? That's a valid question that they have just dropped.
Also, I'm sorry, she stole her assistant's car, which is
Right.
now just abandoned on the side of the road. You know
Yeah.
there's a missing persons out for a
For a senator.
state
Sorry,
senator
state senator.
who is
I'm Oscar from The
by
Office.
mistake. But, like, who is definitely people are
Yeah,
looking for this person who's in the public eye and has stolen a car and seems to be off some sort of
yeah,
medication. Like, there's
yeah.
something wrong,
No,
and
totally.
then I don't know.
Yeah. So,
But
Shauna
we don't get any of that, folks.
no, we don't have
That's not
time for
happening
that. We're
here.
too busy on Cali.
No, you were
So
too happy. Yeah, we're too busy telling Callie about her mom's past in us and Jeff having a dream about Shauna.
yeah.
Sorry, I'm irritated.
So, yeah, with the,
With the turkey
yeah,
knife
it's
hands, the
the
electric
Edward
knife hands.
Scissorhands turkey hands, but it's also everywhere all at once. Every that with
Oh, yeah.
the
See,
hot dog
everything would
fingers.
have been that all would have been fine if we had also been getting this other stuff, but because we're only getting that, it's
Yeah.
like, well, what's
Why
going on
was
with
that
Ty?
necessary? Like, again, I enjoyed the musical number when Misty is in the tank, but was that necessary?
But could we have it have been a little bit shorter?
A
Like,
little shorter.
maybe just the part with Hedwig, and then
Totally.
yeah.
Yeah. So Shauna is stalling and shuffling the deck, and I think I was she trying to take out the queen?
I
Like,
thought she was trying to make sure that she got the queen.
why?
Was she trying to
No,
take
I
out the
think she
queen?
was trying to take out the queen. And I think this was
Mm.
part of the plan because Van goes, "Come on, that's enough, Shauna. We're doing this now." And Thais is like, "Van," because I think they had an agreement that they would like try to take out the queen and stall, or at least stall by shuffling, even if she wasn't taking out the
Or maybe
queen.
make sure Lottie got the queen.
Sure. But I don't think they would have wanted to go through with killing her. They just wanted,
Well, they weren't, but then they would have been able to be like, "See, Lottie, we're not gonna kill you. This is
right,
over." You know, it could have
right.
been the opening to a conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Van blows it and is like, "No, we're doing this now." And Thaisa is like, "No." And then Lottie says, "You know what happens when you don't draw." And it's like, "You don't have to, Thaisa. This is like war games. The only way to win is not to play. Learn from Matthew Broderick and an excellent movie from the 80s.
Yeah.
You didn't
Is
just
it?
walk away,
Does that
Thaisa."
age well? We don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I cannot confirm.
Cannot
Um,
confirm or deny, but a movie that was once enjoyed.
A movie that probably made Russia look really bad.
So if that's your thing, check out War
You might
Games.
like war games with Matthew Broderick. But the only way to win is not to play, and that's the lesson that I learned from the 80s. Just walk away. And so Thaisa, you don't have to play. Van has now
Yeah.
flipped. Van
Yeah.
is wants to play now. She wants to go first and draw the cards. She's thinking this could cure my cancer, or maybe I get hunted and I was going to die anyways. Whatever.
Yeah.
She's all
Mhm.
in.
Yeah.
And it's a weird flip that I don't like, but that's what's happening. But Thaisa, you have never decided to flip, and you're not bad Thai yet, I don't think, in this ceremony. And then Misty goes along with it. It's like, Misty, why are you playing? And then Shauna is just playing because she thinks we're all stalling, right? We're all just pretending. We're all humoring Lottie right now,
No,
right?
Ty flips when she pulls the card. So Ty pulls the card, shows it, and gives your smirk that you're looking for to Van. After she puts up the fight, she pulls it and goes, dun. and then looks at Van and goes like
And
that without
that's
even
you
looking
think
at the
that's when
cards.
she
That's
becomes
when she flips. Yeah.
bad tie.
Or whatever other tie.
Why
That's
is
when that
Natalie
happens.
playing? Why
I
is
don't know why
Misty playing?
is Natalie going Natalie has been confusing to me this whole season.
Natalie's storyline has made no sense, and I think at the very end, well, we'll get there. Okay. So
I think that there might be something to the fact that the actor was
1000%. She
n
hated the role in the first season. She wanted out, and I think
I think they wrote some things to give her some things that she wanted.
maybe.
It seems
So,
weird for her to go on this journey with Lisa.
yeah, the whole season and to start wearing purple and to fall for be in the cult. But then at the end, it's like all she really wanted was forgiveness, I think, and so maybe she got it at the end. I don't know. Well, that was her journey, I guess. It seemed like a
I'm
really long
done.
way to there.
I
So
don't need that journey in my Yellow Jackets.
and we
Does
don't
anyone
need the
I'm
cult
sorry.
to have
I
helped
don't need to be
anyone. We
mean,
don't
but
need
I
the
don't
message to be that Lottie's cult helped someone find forgiveness.
we need that to definitely not be cults
Yeah.
help you find forgiveness needs to
If
not
that's the
be the
message we're
message
going
here.
for, like, I don't
We're
approve
done.
of that.
We gotta
Yeah.
move. Yeah. Mm-mm.
So so Thaisa draws Misty, Shauna, and they get no one gets the Queen of Hearts. And we were wondering last time, like, what happens if no one does? Do you go again? And Lottie says, we're going again. And then Van gives her this look like she's so pissed and doesn't want to go again. And it makes no sense because Van, you were look at that face when Lottie says we have to draw again. Now
Also, in
you
what
flipped
planet
again,
don't you
Van?
just see, and here's the problem with us not being explained
What's
the
going
rules.
on?
Don't they have to pull until they get the queen?
I would think so, but apparently
So why
not.
doesn't Van know that here? Van
Right, like,
seems to be like,
was that not the
how
rule in the
dare you?
wilderness?
How
But
very dare you? I
why
don't
does Van
understand.
all of a sudden flip back again and is like, "I thought we were done now."
I don't
Like, was that
understand
her
any of
plan?
this.
Was she pretending to go along with the hunt because she thought that the first round would just end it? No, she really wanted to do the hunt. It just doesn't make any sense.
We don't understand
Natalie's
the
behavior,
reaction shots.
Van's behavior,
Yeah, and Natalie
I
still
don't
thinks
get
that they're
it.
coming, right? Natalie it makes sense for Natalie to keep playing because Natalie thinks that the people are coming for Lottie to help her.
Right,
Natalie seems to care
she has
about
not been told that they called off the mental health professionals. So you're right. Um, yeah, it's very frustrating to me.
Yeah, okay.
Misty, I don't get why she's playing. I mean, she's
Oh, well,
maybe
Misty's gonna play because everyone else is playing.
that's
Misty's
true.
like a go
Yeah, that's
along to
true.
get along. But
Yeah.
literally, if Misty also does tend to follow Natalie the most. So if
Mhm.
Natalie had stepped out and been like, "This
Yeah.
isn't the way to do this. I don't wanna do this." And now we
Yeah.
know Natalie has some control in the wilderness, at least at
Yeah.
one point. So I'd like to see her assert it a little bit here and be like, actually, some of the stuff I've been doing here has really helped me. I wanna make sure Lottie does this the right way and, like, put Lottie in a car and
Right.
drive her to the place.
Yeah.
No.
So, yeah, Misty seems personally offended that they called off her crisis team. Yeah, because she's like, "I'm a medical professional. I can get her
I
an
know,
in
I
at the
loved that.
hospital." And then they call off her thing. So, uh they're all doing it for some reason, and then they draw a bunch of times, and it's intercutting with them as teenagers, which you did
Drawing.
ask when there was intercut scenes, so there's one of your big intercut scenes,
Yeah.
and betwixt the timelines, and then Shauna gets the Queen of Hearts, and the others put on their masks and their knives, and then I'm like, "What are we Misty, now you're really gonna do the hunt all of a sudden?"
Now it seems like everybody's hypnotized, Natalie and Misty included, like,
Thaisa
everyone's
is bad tie, fully understand that.
totally understand that.
Sure.
Van is
Van
gone
was
to the
on
dark
board.
side.
Sure.
Everyone's just but they all, like,
Natalie and
silently she
Misty,
shows the queen, and they silently just turn and go, "Mass time. Mass time."
what the heck? They're all gonna this was not the plan. And so Shauna's like, seriously? I thought we were all like just going we are just, humoring Lottie until the people come. What are we
Yeah.
doing?" And Shauna says, "Have you all lost your minds?" And she says, "There's no it. there's no it in the wilderness. It was just us. And then Lottie says, "Is there a difference?" And I thought that was a very poignant line.
You're very right.
Because thank you. I didn't write it. But like we keep debating if there is or there isn't. This could be a lost thing where it's like, was the island real or was it whatever? It's the journey that not the destination, you know? But this is
Stop
like,
it. Not all who
is
wander are lost.
right.
Get them all out. Do them
Is
all.
there is there supernatural? Is there not supernatural? I believe in one of our chats, one of us said, "Does it really matter? They're doing the same thing. Like people are still dying." Or someone in the chat said it. I'm not going to claim credit for that. But
I'm
like
going to
the
claim credit
end
for you.
result
Kimberly
is
said
the
it.
same. The end result is the same.
Yeah.
Whether it exists or it is in them or they became monsters because of their situation,
Yeah.
like the results are the same. A bloodless hunt feeds no one or whatever. I'm just starts
It
come
was
see
something like that. It was close.
Yeah,
Thus,
say
a
la vie.
bloodless. You have to start with thus if you're serious. Or thusly.
Yeah. It means whatever you want it to mean, exactly.
Hereto
The fr
forthwith. The
the friendships we made along the way. That's the whole point of the show. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh boy.
But I did think it was very poignant when she was like, "Is there any difference?" So
And it's also the show telling us, like, do you know?
right. The
Sorry, I
Muffin Man?
did just realize that I have more up here. This is not a real animal.
Yeah, we know.
Just in case anyone was worried. Sorry, I did just look at it and was like, "Oh," and I was like, "Oh, more." No, he is a puppet. Okay.
Uh, yeah, it's
Well,
like
that's what I believe.
well, that's what I believe. That's
But you
another
have
thing
to
from our
exit.
podcast. If you're enjoying these random things that you don't understand, try listening to our podcast. You might like it. So, yeah, it's like I liked that when she said that. I thought that was poignant. So then Shauna starts
Well, it's a
running.
clue. We
It
just
is,
don't
it's a
know what
clue.
it means yet.
But it could mean to them like you're going to waste 5 years of your life debating this and it's going to turn out not to matter. So maybe
That is the
listen
story
now.
of so many people's lives. Actually,
And
we're just
lost.
gonna waste it. And Ghost Wall.
Taller ghost wall.
Taller.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
someday we'll explain what that is.
Yeah.
If you
So
haven't seen Lost, there's a
okay.
character that ages and it's dealt with in just a really
The
bad
worst way.
way.
It's so
It's
funny.
so bad.
So,
But it
so
makes me laugh every time.
I know. So Shauna starts running because the others are chasing her, but they're middle-aged now, so it's more like a light jog than a run. Like full on last week with the hatchets, they were sprinting because they're teenagers, and now they're like me, and they're like, "Can it be a brisk fast walk?"
It is.
The
It's
only
like,
sport
well,
endorsed by the AARP.
the only reason why I feel like it's okay is because Shauna is still not sure if they're actually
Like,
gonna
"Are
try to
you
kill her. So
chasing
she's
me?
sort of like,
Should I
"Are
run?
we?
Do I
Maybe."
run?
Because and
Are
then
we running?"
Lottie's like, "Did you choose scram or
Yeah.
whatever it is? What is it? Stay or scram? What are
Yeah.
the two things? I'm not remembering them.
Stay or scram?
It's not stay or scram. It's
Fight or flight?
fight or run.
What are you talking about?
What the two options are? You have to
Fight or
submit
flight.
or
Oh,
submit or
submit, run. Submit or
submit
flee?
or
Whatever Lottie said. Yes, so one was
it's not
submit,
scram because
fight.
submit and scram would
Submit
be
and scram
great.
I really like. Yeah,
It would be good. Okay.
yeah.
So,
So so
anyways,
but
if,
come on, do you who noticed that little jog that was like
well, Shauna seemed unsure and
she did.
everyone else, unfortunately, what they
They're maybe
decided
wearing heels. I don't know if they're wearing the proper shoe wear to
they
even
definitely
run.
could be wearing a heeled boot. And
Yeah.
so I would say what was weird is that or a wedge, maybe like a wedge mountain boot here, like a Timberland. Okay, so when Shauna's sort of backing away and looking behind her and being like, are they coming? Are they coming?"
Yeah.
The other ones, all the other women are sort of running after her, but they're also doing those
Right, they're doing their, like,
like the
pretend
weird like
they're
who's and
feral when they
haws and
become
things.
feral all of a sudden.
But that only works if you're running at top speed. Is
It's
that
not if you're
fun?
just
If
briskly
you're
walking
just like
around your neighborhood with a sweater tied around
briskly
your
walking,
shoulders.
"Oh!"
You're walking by your country club at night, a brisk evening walk after dinner, sweater tied around your shoulders. That was the vibe they were doing and
I
trying
wish
to
I had
act
a
like they were
sweater.
being feral. They got wolf pack now. Doesn't work. So
I
then
With the sounds. I
whoop,
couldn't. I just died. Oh.
so creepy porn stash cop finds Kevin in the trunk of his car. Walter out of nowhere shows up, and I think
Hi, it's me.
hiya,
I'm here to
and
wrap things up for you.
I'm gonna shoot Kevin in the car,
I'm gonna
and
tie this
then
all in a nice little bow for the show.
I have, unbeknownst to you or the audience, I have set up all these phone records and bank records that make it look like Kevin Tan, the very nice cop,
Mhm.
um, actually is the one who killed Adam and killed Jessica Roberts. I know you don't even know who Jessica Roberts is, creepy cop, because you're new to the force.
Don't worry about that though.
But don't worry
That's just
about that.
let's just
She's
don't
also
worry about
dead.
that.
I don't think you're even looking for her yet.
Yeah.
But you will look like a hero because you got into a fight with him and
Mhm.
then he died. You shot him with your gun. And so that's fine. You're going to look like hero. Or I can flip all of that work that I've done or am going to do. Unsure if he's already done it or if he can do it. I'm going to make it look like you're the one who killed Adam and Jessica Roberts, even though you've never met or heard of Jessica Roberts. And you're new to the force. And it's some big ring that it's whatever. You can either be the
I'm gonna
hero
do it
here,
through your bank records and your
phone
just
records. Yeah.
I'm gonna hack
Hack.
you,
Yeah.
but
So,
I'm not gonna say
like,
that I'm
did
gonna
Walter
hack.
have all this ahead of time? And the creepy cop stash is like, you just killed my partner in front of me. I don't even know who you are. Who's Jessica Roberts? But sure, you can blackmail me right now. I will go along with it. I will tarnish the name of my cop partner, who is a great man, a good guy, a father of a little boy on a soccer team, and we
Oh
will
my gosh.
tarnish his right, remember, and we will
Now I
tarnish
do.
his name and make him look like he was botching an investigation on purpose because he was the real murderer and killed. And will they not do, thank you, Laura, you're getting to my next note,
No, they will not. That's why he
are they
shot him.
not going to do an autopsy
That's
on
why they shot.
Kevin?
That's why he comes up and shoots him real quick.
I
Yes.
guarantee you, if a cop is shot, they're still doing an autopsy and they would see that he had been dosed with something and was already dead. I
Okay.
guarantee you, if a cop was shot, they would still do the autopsy. Laura, come on.
I don't know about that. Laura, do you think that's
What do you
true?
think?
I don't know
Laura
about
hosts
that.
an excellent podcast called The Fall Line, and they focus on missing and murdered like indigenous women and people of color, and like so it's really awesome. Like
I feel
cases
like
that don't get a lot of attention. Follow
yeah,
them.
please do. I feel like they wouldn't do the extra work. Laura, do you agree with me? I
If
feel
he's a
like
dirty cop,
Sarah, what do you
Sarah,
think? Do you
Sarah
think they
says if he's a dirty cop, they might just let it go and be like, well, he was shot. Interesting.
Did you I feel like this was okay, so this made the episode hard. It works again because it's Elijah Wood, not for a dirty cop. Right. They would definitely not do an autopsy
You
if there was this story about this ring
When you
where
do
they
shoot a corpse, it absolutely does look different than an alive person,
Mhm.
but if he had just died, it might not look as different. Whereas if you shot him like hours later, the blood would be completely different. So
Yeah,
the
that's a good
wounds
point
would be
too.
completely different. But if he had just, but again, the timeline is so crazy because it was daylight when they came, and now it's nighttime.
We can't ask these questions. Whole all right. This was rough. This little wrap up. This little we're just gonna sort of end this now and get them off their backs. Do you
How
think
does
maybe they
Walter know about these two cops that are on to Shauna who he's never met? I mean, he's doing a lot of digging onto Misty, but like did he plan this ahead of time? Did he know Walter or Kevin was going to walk into the kitchen, or was he going to poison the mustache cop if the mustache cop walked in first? Or was
maybe
he going to
either
go take the hot chocolate and go look for them? Like, what of this was planned ahead of time?
see you're in the trap. You're
And why
asking
is
all the questions.
creepy cop being like, sure, I will go for it, you scrawny little nerdy hobbit man. I say that with love because he was the hobbit.
That's rude.
But no, he was the hobbit, right? So
He was kind of a well-known one.
yeah. So I don't know the name. Bilbo.
Frodo.
Bilbo? Oh, I thought he was Bilbo. Who's Frodo? Which one's Frodo? Which one's Bilbo?
Step back.
Sorry. So
Kimberly has left the chat.
the so this is all gotten wrapped up. Great job, Walter. I don't know if you just came up with it out of nowhere or whatever, but great. So they're hunting Shauna in the woods, and then Cali comes out of nowhere and she shoots Lottie in the arm to save her mom. And
Okay.
okay.
Stop.
Also, how does Cali know how to shoot a gun?
Cali would never be able to hit her in the arm.
No, maybe she was aiming for her heart or something, or her head.
That was just the luckiest shot in the history of the world.
Yeah.
But it made no sense. And why is Cali really thinking her mom is in danger in that moment? Like, what is happening the action right before that she thinks
her
for
mom
sure?
is running, and there's women with masks and knives chasing her. So I think she gets that her mom is in danger, and she does it, and she's gonna shoot Lottie again, and Shauna says, "No, don't put the gun down." And I'd be like, "Shoot Lottie, it's fine." But
it feels like a moment that it would have been totally appropriate and probably best to step out and shoot into the sky, right? And say,
yeah,
stop.
I
What
have
are
a
you
gun.
doing?
Yeah.
Like, I'm her daughter. I'm here.
Yeah.
Draw attention to yourself. You might have picked up on the fact that these are your mom's old soccer friends.
Yeah.
So
she knows.
maybe,
Yeah.
like, why do they want to kill you?
Yeah.
Let me see what's going on, and then I can shoot you later. It just doesn't make sense.
So Lottie is like Michael Myers, and the bullet has almost no effect on her because she's maybe has that crazy adrenaline going, and she's like, "You're her daughter. You're so powerful."
I think it grazed her. I don't think she actually shot herself in the
She's like,
arm, right?
"It's here. Can you feel it? It's here." And then I thought, is it in Cali? Is Cali going to be the Antler Queen in season 3 in the present tense timeline? I won't be able to handle it.
We're going to have to stop.
Yeah.
If Cali, I think this might be Cali's last season. And I'm saying that firmly and with confidence to anyone who might be watching that it matters to. I think we're going to move on to Thaisa's story next season.
I would love to. And you know how I feel about
learn
Sammy.
more about Natalie's.
Sammy is one of my least favorite characters as well. But I would still rather move off of this family.
We now have
I love Jeff. I would take a lot of Jeff.
You know what? We've had Jeff. Let's move on.
Yeah.
What's Van? This Van is new this season. I would like to see some more about Van's life at the video store.
Yeah.
Or wherever. And then also let's get to know some more about how Misty's life.
Yeah, for sure. If
More
there were more people in that basement.
More Walter.
Yeah.
Let's move along.
So Thaisa and Van admit, because Shauna is finally like, when is the psych team coming? And Thaisa and Van say, we didn't call, we canceled. And then Van says, it's not right. She's like this because of us.
But it's okay.
And I said, no, she's not. She was like this way before you guys. She was like this before anyone was following her in the wilderness. She was like this as a child. She saw the symbols and weird stuff in the woods way before anyone was following her.
She seems particularly bad at this moment, to be honest, though. We haven't seen Lottie with like the glossy eyes.
Right, but why is
the choker's really thick? It's like the whole thing.
Why is Van saying it's not right? She's like this because of us, so we can't lock her up.
That's not true.
None of that's not true, Van.
But Van doesn't know about the childhood, maybe.
Well, maybe, yeah, like that she had gone off her medication and she.
Yeah, maybe Van's not really a question asker.
She was
Van
in
doesn't
the
wanna
group.
know and does
Wouldn't you
not I
wanna know
know.
the origin story of your cult leader?
Yeah, wouldn't you also you've been there so long, just a 1 week is all about one person, you just learn everything there is to know about that person and then move on to the next person.
Yeah.
Like,
Like,
there's nothing else to do but talk, you
I
know?
think I see what you're saying. Maybe she's saying they make Lottie sicker by being around her, even though Lottie has begged them to, like, says the universe brought them there and then tried to kill them all with
The
poison.
universe kind of did bring them there. Lottie didn't get oh, Kimberly's gone. It's just me. Hi, everyone. I don't have a cat or anything to show you. I'm trying to catch up on the things.
Sorry. Um,
It's okay. I don't like my face that large every time. That is true.
so, like, I just don't agree, Van. It seemed like a weird, dumb thing that they just made her say, and I don't like it. So,
Well, it's
Lottie
confusing. The Van's relationship to all of this has been flip-floppy.
flip
It's
flop, flip flop, flip
really
flop. She's like a
which
politician.
is that on
And
purpose?
Thais is the politician,
Is that
and
on
no one
purpose?
seems to remember she just won a major election. So Lottie says,
And there's definitely a missing persons out for okay, I'm
yeah.
just
So Lottie says, "It was with us all along." And then she starts doing a lot of exposition, and you're like, "Why?" She's like, "Shauna, when you killed your lover, and Misty, when you killed that reporter and had her tied up in your basement, and you, and you were here all along, and you, Auntie M," and like pointing to all of them and saying their thing. And Natalie, you were always its favorite.
Oh, yeah,
And
this was the one. Yeah.
yeah. And then Natalie is done. She brings out a knife and she
No,
yells at
no.
her.
No, no, now we get flashes. We get flashes through that
Yeah.
speech with specifically Natalie, and we
Mhm.
get the image of her I don't remember what the first one was because it was the second one that was important. It was, oh, I think it was her at Doom's Coming, but it could be something we haven't seen yet. But it's Natalie in what appears to be a low cut top. So it's either in the spring, summer, or at Doom's Coming episode last season. And she's got a big knife. And I think it's when she's guarding people from Travis, when she's like protecting him in that episode when they're all
In
going
Doom's
after
Coming.
him. Yeah, when they
Mhm.
think he's the stag.
Yeah.
So it was a Doom's Coming. Okay, thank you, Devin. Thank you. All right.
So Natalie pulls out a knife and says, 'cause she has a real knife too. She's bought a real
Mhm.
knife because she knew stuff was going to go down. And so she brought a sharp knife and she says, "Stop it. Why won't you just like stop talking, Lottie? Just stop it." But then Lisa, who we knew was important somehow, shows up and she's heard all the exposition and is like, "Wait, you guys killed people? What is happening?" And she has the gun from Lottie's closet, the huge gun.
Can I ask
So,
you a really important question
yeah,
that Shauna, at this point, when Lisa rounds the tree with the giant rifle,
yeah,
maybe you just take your daughter and
uh-huh.
say, "Okay, honey, we're just gonna find some shelter real quick." Like, just guard her and
She
take
doesn't have
her
that in her.
away. Alright.
No, she doesn't have that in her. She's had troubled mother. She struggles with her maternal instinct. So, and that is Natalie's shotgun from the wilderness. That is true. Thank you for pointing that out.
It is. Yeah.
Yes. So, and the one she had in the trunk of her car. So, in season 1. So, and the one she was gonna, unalive herself with. Right. So, the Misty, of course, still has phenobarbital always in her pocket at all times in a syringe because she's ready to go. And then we get this flashback from season 1, episode 1, which the producers kept saying was going to be really important. And I feel like they're just trying to make it sound like it's really important.
I was
So,
really mad. I was
so
like, "This is the thing
this
that,
you've been
like."
saying how important and crucial and pivotal this scene was, and this is how it okay. So it's the scene where Natalie's on drugs at the bonfire before they go on the plane, and she sees Misty across the bonfire, and then Misty disappears. And so it's supposed to like foreshadow what is happening.
It
So,
I'm so sorry.
oh, it was fentanyl Misty had. Apologies.
It
And
doesn't, right?
so
It doesn't foreshadow
I
it,
don't think it
right?
does, and I think it's weak sauce that they're acting like it's really important. Um,
Are you getting shorter?
Sorry, maybe.
I think you're sinking into your. There she is.
Okay.
All right, there we go.
So
Sorry, it was getting to be where your chin was
yeah.
way below the sideline. Also, I
So
have Fanta tonight in honor. Remember they drank all the Fanta in the soda machines? Do you remember back then in episode 1 when they talked about that and we thought that was going to be huge? It wasn't.
I don't even remember that.
The purple people drank all the
Oh yeah,
Fanta in the
of course, in the
machine.
vending machine at the motel. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I forgot how good Fanta is.
I
It's
love
really
that.
good. Yeah, I like
So
Fanta.
I'm wearing my one of my yellow jacket shirts.
I'm
So
wearing a shirt with a bunch of birds because it looks like the birds that fell. All right.
So the producers kept saying that moment was important. They're trying to make it seem like it was this big foreshadow that they've planned since the beginning,
Uh-huh.
and I don't know if I'm buying it. I honestly don't know if I'm buying it. But anyways, Misty runs for Lisa with the syringe, and Natalie steps in to protect Lisa because she's built this bond with Lisa. She wants to protect Lisa like she couldn't protect Javi. She's sacrificing herself in Lisa's place like she didn't do with Javi. I think it's multi-layered. And then also you have Misty, and Natalie's her best friend in the world, that she thinks she's her best friend in the world, and all she has done is try to protect her since the beginning of the show, and she's the one who stabs her by accident with the syringe. So there's a lot of stuff going on, and Misty's sobbing. And then we go to Natalie as an adult alone on a plane, and there's turbulence, and it's, I think, this like afterlife gateway waiting room, something lost-ish.
No exit. Dante's
Yeah.
Inferno. All right.
And Natalie sees Javi on the plane, young Javi, and he says there's nothing to be afraid of. And Natalie says, no, I'm not supposed to be here. And young Natalie shows up. So we have both Natalies next to each other. And young Natalie says, we both know that's not true. This is exactly where we belong. We've been here for years. Also, I don't belong here is exactly what bad Thaisa said to Van. Like, we're not supposed to be here. It's that sort of stuff.
So this
And
has come
then
up a few
Natalie says
times.
to Ben, Coach Ben, you don't belong here. So that's a recurring theme, I think. And then so young Natalie and old normal age adult Natalie. I mean
Current day Natalie. Yeah.
current day Natalie. And Natalie's crying, and young Lottie shows up on the plane and touches her heart like she does. And she says, it's not evil. It's just hungry like us, which is kind of like what Van was saying when she was telling that story about the wilderness. And she said, it's misunderstood. And, it's not that bad. It's not evil. It was just, I'm not evil. I'm just drawn that way. It's Jessica
Right.
Rabbit. And it's just hungry. It's just doing what it needed to survive, just like we did. Like, you don't need to feel guilty. You're not evil. You just did what you had to survive, And then she says, let it in. And then there's turbulence, and Natalie breathes in and then dies. Big question.
Yeah. Few
Who's
big questions.
Who's the most important person in the world to Natalie, who
Yeah.
is
Biggest
dead
question is,
and would
and
probably be on that plane with her?
what I wrote here, where's Travis?
Her love of her life, the most complicated relationship, the person she went to the compound to avenge his death for.
Does it make you feel better that she gets his little brother instead of the one that she loved the
She gets
most?
the one that she killed by choosing her life over his own. She gets someone she feels really guilty about.
So which makes me feel very fishy about this plane trip. Because we're not getting the right people.
So it's not, you don't think it's a dumb thing from the writers, you think it is a misdirect or
I'm
something.
hoping it's some sort of misdirect because I'm not sure why we're not getting Travis, Jackie, Crystal / Kristen. No, but like anyone who's We should be getting multiple people if it's just people who passed. Jackie got the whole lineup.
Yeah.
So it's odd
So
what we're
I did
getting.
read one thing, like someone said, what if they're going by the like if you unalive yourself, you don't go to heaven, and this is supposed to be like heaven or something.
But she
And
didn't.
no, but Travis did. Kind of.
Oh.
Even though his was an accident, he autoerotic asphyxiated
No,
himself
but it was an
because
accident.
he
It
was
wasn't on
trying to
purpose.
get
That
close to
doesn't
the
count.
darkness. It
I
was
don't
an ac it
understand.
wasn't a it was a the woods themselves did it. They
Also,
caused
I
that
would love to
accident.
go back to that moment and try to figure out what happened. Because can we go back to talking about that? Because we still don't know exactly what happened and if Lottie was telling the truth on that.
I think Lottie was telling the truth, or at least that's
Oh,
what
so
she
I'm
saw
supposed to move on?
happen.
Okay, I'll
No,
move on.
no, absolutely not.
No, maybe I am. I might just be the only one. I just didn't understand.
Actually, it's Kristen. The last thing you hear before you die, "Where's Crystal's body?" And is anyone
Friends,
but Misty gonna know that her real name is Kristen?
was she an actual person? Was she real?
No, people agree with you that Lottie was not telling the truth. I might be the only one who thinks that Lottie was telling the truth, that that's what happened, that in from her perspective, that's what she saw. She saw Laura Lee and the remote wouldn't work.
Well, then can you think of any reason why
That's what I think.
Javi would be on this plane trip with Natalie and not Travis?
No,
Just both of them.
I think it was, yeah, they should have used young Travis because he's the actor that we're most attached to, whereas old Travis, we've only seen in, like, a couple random flashbacks, so I don't think it would have been as poignant, although it would have been weird if they had kissed or something, if, like, adult Natalie kissed teen Travis. Um,
I think you could have had young Travis and
was
Natalie
did the
on the
actor have
plane
COVID?
together.
Did Travis have COVID?
Was this an
That's the
act
only thing I think that is could have happened.
Was this an actor thing because that specifically is what Juliette Lewis was concerned with, right? Was that the attachment to that character?
That is the rumor, that she was very unhappy that they made her character go off such a spiral over a man and turn to drugs and all of that self-harm and things like that. So maybe that was a Juliette Lewis choice, but it
To
seems
not
like
have him be
to
part of
just
it.
have truthfulness to the character, and if you wanna be proud
Yeah.
of your character, like, one of the Travi, one of the Travi should have been there, I feel like.
You should have had yeah,
Young Travi or old Travi.
or all Travis.
Yeah, that's just that's
Uh-huh.
what I think. So, I'm glad you feel the same way. What other questions did you have about this?
Just a lot of I felt like the whole thing had a lot of that weird language in it where it's very mysterious and you
Yeah,
don't really
someone said that the
understand.
actress that plays Lottie said she didn't know what her lines meant, but I just told you what I think they mean. It means that it's not bad, it's just hungry, like, you were just trying to survive, Natalie, and that's what we're meant to do. It doesn't mean we're evil, and we're just trying to survive, and so when
It
Javi
might mean
died,
that. It might also mean a bit more than that. It
oh,
might
it's too simplistic, my how
it
dare
might be
she?
it might
Did
be
you guys
bigger.
catch that shade?
I
Oh,
didn't
that's
mean to.
sweet, Kimberly, that you thought that. I think it might be a
No.
little deeper than that,
I'm no,
but
no,
you're
I'm
on the
more
right track.
I'm sorry. I more think that, like, I tend to overthink. It's probably just that, but in my head, I'm like, "Mm-mm,
It's so
that's too easy." Like,
but it's
it's
that
gonna be
lost
something
language,
like
it's that language from the last sorry, Mary Payne, if you're here, the last episode of Lost, which is like, it's about the journey. We're not going to give you all the answers. It means
right.
whatever you want it to mean. It's who knows what happens after
It
you
is that
die,
language.
you
So
know?
sorry, I don't mean to shade you. I'm so
No, I
sorry.
don't
No, no,
care.
no, no.
So,
And then there's the not supposed to be here, I feel like is the part we keep hearing. We've heard that multiple times. We've heard it over and over, and people were saying in the comments all these other instances of people saying it.
of
Coach
what?
Ben's
Oh, you don't
boyfriend.
belong here. Yes,
Yeah, you're
that's
not supposed to be here,
the
things
boy
like that.
said that. Yep.
Which I feel like again, this feels like a weird timeline thing where it's going to be, "You're not in the right time. You have to go back to this time." I'm concerned about time
Well,
becoming
don't we
involved
want it
in
to be
this.
more like Dark? Because Dark is a good show. So
I'd just be happy at this point if we can stop with the Adam Martin
Should
storyline,
Dark be our
unless
next watch through?
it could be.
Would anyone watch it with us? It's a show in German on
It's
Netflix.
gonna be we can watch it in the English dub, and it's
No,
gonna be
no, that's no
I
good.
watched it in the English dub.
I don't approve of that. No. It's
I
not good.
still
It's
watched
not the
it,
same. It sounds weird. No.
but to me, I really liked it. So maybe to some people, you can choose your own adventure. We're not watching the whole Are we gonna watch the whole
No,
thing?
no. We wouldn't I'm say we would do discussions.
We could
It wouldn't
discuss
be
it.
a watch along
I
type thing.
would love to do discussions of it because I have a lot of questions on that too, and I will not be unawarely condescending because I really
Sarah
won't
said
know.
don't dub shame. I totally just dub shamed. Yeah.
Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate that you did. No, it doesn't. And normally I can't do it, but on that one I absolutely could. So I'm saying don't. Yeah. Also, I
Yes,
have a
we
hard
can
time
dub
with the
it.
reading.
We'll
Okay.
totally dub
Anyways,
it.
the not
Yeah,
supposed to
because
be
you
here
watch on your
does make
phone.
me think it's a timeline thing. We're gonna be shifting in time, but I could be wrong. Also, did I predict on this show that she was gonna die, or did I just
Natalie?
do that to Oliver?
Natalie?
Yeah.
No, you've said it. You said it last week. You said I don't feel good about Natalie. I think there's something's you definitely said it. You hinted
Does
at it.
this make up for me being really wrong about the journals? That Jeff didn't eat the
Yes.
journals?
Yes.
Okay, cool. That was
And
good.
the cannibalism.
Yeah, oh yeah, that was a big one I was wrong. I've blocked that one because it was so big that, like, I'm trying to stop myself
Yeah.
from feeling that much
No, you
shame.
100%. When Natalie died, I thought Katie called this either last week or the week before. Yeah.
But it also seemed like you can't have it both ways. Once you draw the queen, that's the kill card. So
But
in
I
my
think
opinion, it's like, is Shauna not long? How
well, so
long is
that's the
Shauna
final
gonna get through this?
destination thing. Is it gonna come around for people?
Which I thought was very clever when you said that. I think that's actually
I mean,
possible.
if they steal from those movies that are indisputably pretty cheesy movies, but they're very fun.
But
Um,
maybe we could
they're
use a
very
little bit of
fun.
that.
If yeah, it comes around. There's a lot of skipping going on. Someone pointed that out in my notes that there were so many of the people that almost died were saved by someone, or someone
Right.
died like inadvertently, but someone else was supposed to die. There's a lot of that. So, that's possible, but I think it's like I think the queen doesn't necessarily mean that person's going to die. The queen just sets the stage for what's going to start to happen, and then the wilderness it's like a comedy of errors, and it's a game of mousetrap, and like
Oh,
something will just happen the way it is the wilderness wants it to happen. So like that's what they said happened with Javi. Like they're like the card was chosen by Natalie in the past, but Javi, the wilderness chose Javi. Or did Natalie intervene? Javi got killed. And then 25 years later, the wilderness came back for Natalie because she drew the card. And then in 25 years, does Shauna get to live another 25 years? And then it comes back for her?
so why does young Natalie say on the plane, "We've been here for years"?
I think that was we've been living in this limbo between life and death for years
That's what I'm hoping it means.
because of the drug addiction, the overdose, the fact that she was never truly living because she had one foot in the grave because of her guilt and PTSD and shame and stuff.
That is probably
And she was
true.
living like someone who was dead all along, and she did almost die several times from overdoses. So that's what I took it to mean.
That's probably true. But if it's
Is it
not, it means
Are they all in some sort of capsule in pods
are they
and
all
being
dead?
cryogenically frozen somewhere, or they're all dead and it's in a snow globe? Yeah.
Now, speaking of snow globes, where are we headed?
Why is everyone on the plane with her not dead though? Like she sees her young version of herself. She sees Javi who's dead. She sees Lottie who's very much alive.
Right. Also, what plane is that? That's
It's
not the plane
not
they
the
came
plane.
on.
No, they were on a little private
So
plane. Yeah.
then the question is,
Could they not get that plane, and so they had to use a regular, like,
no,
Northwest
the
flight?
show has money.
I would hope so.
They can recreate a few seats on a plane. They can do that, right? Like, my thought is more, is this the plane they were rescued on?
Maybe. Maybe. Oh, speaking of rescuing, don't let me forget. No, I don't know if I can say it. It's a huge spoiler if it's true. I'll say it to you, but I don't know if I'll say it on TV.
Everyone's
So
gonna hate that. I'm so sorry,
so
but
you can
yeah,
stay, like, I'll end it, and then,
we're
so
gonna
just
end
make
it, and
sure to
if you want
remind
a
me,
huge
and
spoiler,
then
you
yeah.
can, yeah,
I mean,
there
it's
you
not a
go.
huge spoiler. It's a pretty big spoiler if it's true. I'm not sure if it's true.
Where did you
So,
hear it from?
um, someone I don't wanna say, I saw it on Reddit. Um, someone I saw it on Reddit. So Mary Payne, hi. What are you talking about? Oh, the covering of the eyes. Are you talking about Shauna
Shauna?
covering her eyes, or are you talking about when they wear masks that cover their half their faces to look like Phantom of the Opera because they have dual personalities, good and evil inside them? We don't know. Um,
Past the point of no return. Why have we not heard that yet, by the way? Oh,
we heard
also,
Phantom
but
last
we
week.
didn't hear that one, and
Yeah,
I think that's funny that they didn't play that song, and Jake said there's something to Walters. I'm sure he's gonna talk about it next week, so be sure to join us. I think that
Send in
there
the
is something
clowns.
to be said about the song choices because I guess the chat picked up on, but I did not see it in the chat last time. That's what I was gonna tell you about. This the Sweeney Todd song he was singing last time,
Yeah,
the, "No
that
one's gonna
wasn't
harm you," that
no
was
one's gonna harm you as
Barbara
long as I'm
Streisand
around,
singing,
and not
not Angela
Angela. Yeah,
Lansbury when he had an Angela Lansbury fan club
folder.
folder.
Yeah.
So that choice means something,
I
that he
hope
would
it means
listen to
something.
that one and not
It's
the
not a
Angela
mistake.
Lansbury. They wouldn't point to both of them together and be like, but
Right,
she's
why
not listening to the incredibly famous version of the
right,
song that, like, of the role that she made famous.
right, when he has a folder on his computer about Angela Lansbury. Yeah. Um,
I don't know
s
what it means, but I'm sure people have ideas. I'm
okay,
very excited.
so she breathes in and dies because Lottie says, "Let
Oh, I
it
thought we were
in."
done. I'm sorry. Mhm.
Lottie says, "Let it in," but I don't think it is that yeah, it's still capitalized.
What
It
did she say
in.
right before "Let it in"?
She
It's
says,
not
"It's not
hungry?
evil, it's just hungry just like us. Let it in." And she puts her hand on here. And then she dies. And then the police
Or
are
she begins to truly live. Living? I don't know. She does something like that.
What
Maybe
was
it's a
that? Girl living.
living. It's I don't know. I
Is that
watch a
from
lot of
Drag
Drag
Race?
Race.
Drag
I
Race?
watch a lot of
So,
Drag Race. Okay, so hold
I
on,
knew
but
that was from Drag
seriously,
Race. I could
it could be
tell.
it could be something to do with, like, we don't know if, like, there's another kind of dead. I feel like there's a question mark here.
Yeah.
That's not a normal scene.
Yeah.
We'll
So
see.
police arrive and they wheel out Natalie's body and they're just like drug overdose. Middle-aged woman, which hurt a little bit, drug overdose. And it's like, so they're just buying, she stabbed herself in the neck. Okay. And there's another woman that was shot. And then there's a cop that was dead. And the woman that was shot in the arm was not shot by the cop's gun. Are you going to try to blame that on Kevin Tan? Because Lottie was shot with a different gun. She was shot by the gun that the
A
carjacker
very
used
old
on
hunting
Shauna.
rifle. Yeah.
No, the Shauna Lottie was killed by the Shauna's gun that she took from that carjacker that Cali
Oh,
took from
that's
the
right.
car.
Oh, that's right. Lisa had
So
the double
how
barrel.
why
Okay.
they're just buying that it's a drug overdose. And then
Also,
Walter
sorry, what happened to Lisa at the end of this? She just
Lisa,
wandered
where
off
did
into
they
the
just
woods?
maybe
Like,
they were just
bye?
like, you're not gonna go down for this. Just
I'm
go away.
not
We're
going down
protecting.
for this.
And she's like, go away. It's fine. You're fine. Just go back to sleep with all the other people that we drugged. And so then Walter comes up and he's like, Misty, I took care of the Adam Martin situation. She's crying. I killed my best friend. And he's comforting her. Jeff's comforting Shauna. And the creep cop is
Yeah.
like fake crying to the police. So police are just they're just buying this Kevin Tan story that he has been corrupt along and killed two people. And
I'm just
they're
gonna
just
go with it. I need that
and
storyline to
there's
I'm just going with
clearly
it.
a
It's fine.
cult
Yeah.
with people who are dressed in purple. There is a state
Who are
senator
possibly
who has
dead.
been missing for a week,
There is a missing state senator
and
here, but there
she's
is
there.
also a lot of people who are just in the weird like, an unbelievably deep
There's
sleep
a
that
goat.
seems unnatural.
There's a Bruce goat. There's,
There's a
like,
ghost.
masks. I mean, I'm sure they hid a lot of the stuff, but the police got there really fast because Walter's like, "I called the cops," and you hear the sirens. Walter called the cops. So,
Did
like,
they unbury that guy from the ground? Is he still on the ground who was
he
doing the
was
ritual?
alive. That was just original.
You don't know.
I think they, like they must have just decided really fast when they heard that we're just gonna it's she drive a
Just go.
drug overdose. But what how do they think Lottie got shot? Is there no police investigation? Are they about how Lottie got shot in the arm? Like there needs to be a police report if someone got shot in the arm. I don't understand. So and
Thank
she's
you,
not in any
Paula.
pain in whatsoever. And then because she's in adrenaline. And then Thaisa says to Lottie, they're gonna keep you for a little while, but we're gonna check on you. So does she mean are they putting her in a place after all that? When they were gonna do that
Yes.
yesterday? They were gonna
Yes.
put her under supervision yesterday. Then none of this needed to happen if she's just
Well, it
winding up in the
did
place again.
because we see Van's hopeful face right now
So
when
then
Lottie says what she says. So
Lottie
was this
says, "We
all
gave it
for
what it wanted. It's pleased with us." And she looks at Van and she says, "You'll see." And Van's like, "Oh my God, I don't have cancer anymore." Maybe. Natalie was sacrificed so she could live. That was the choice that was made.
now I
So
have to go through and do like a sacrificial chart and be like, this person equals this
yeah, for this
person. So this
exactly.
person means
Uh-huh.
this person and this person. Thank you,
Yeah.
Mary Payne. Stop that.
Oh,
Thank
you
you.
all are so nice.
And then we do so I feel like because this is
So
all
was
connected
did we
somehow.
spend all season on Lisa just so she could somehow be part of the catalyst for Natalie to die?
I
Couldn't that have
feel
been
I
anyone
feel
else? Callie, anybody else? That was what
why did we
Lisa
meet Lisa's mom with all the boxes, the MLM mom who we're suspecting is
she
in an
was fully in
MLM?
an MLM. I agree with you. That she was because
Why
I
did we need to meet her?
stacks of boxes and framed spoons on the wall,
Yeah.
which I think was mental health, chronic illness awareness or something. That's what I think. It was a deeper meaning.
Oh, is it? Okay, there we go.
Like I'm out of spoons. She was out of spoons with her daughter. I don't know why there were spoons. I don't know why there were so many boxes. Why did we have that episode? Just so Natalie and Lisa could bond more. We had so many with the goldfish.
No, that
Like
fish is dead by now.
we had so many scenes of Natalie and Lisa bonding, and then Lisa ended up being the one who killed her,
It's
kind
the
of
same as
by
the Adam
accident.
Martin it's the same as the Adam Martin storyline. Why did we have him what we thought would be wrapped up early in season 2 is instead the entirety of,
Yeah.
like, the current
Yeah.
timeline in season 2, and
Mhm.
not only that, it's wrapped up in a really it's that was sorta sloppy, I feel
Yes.
like, was that wrap up with Walter just coming
Uh-huh.
in and fixing it all.
No, ridiculous.
That's and then
It's a
it
mock estu machina.
Da
Deus ex machina. Is that right?
Mockingbird it's
De
Machina. Da
Deus machina.
I think
Look, I knew what it was. I just don't know how to pronounce it.
it's just the
So,
way you're saying it. You keep saying it like my 7-year-old okay, my 7-year-old niece, Emmeline, when she's got, like, this I call it, like, a swindler look when she's trying to pull one over, and she'll be like if you're bargaining with her about, like, say, eating something she doesn't wanna eat, like broccoli, and you say, "Okay, you're gonna eat these 3 pieces of broccoli," and she'll go, how about I eat 1 piece?" Like that. Like, does this like, yeah, she'll go, "How about just 1?" And I'll be like, "No, you're gonna have 3." And she was like, "Mm, 2."
no,
Like,
I'm
it's
not gonna
this
say God in the
full
machine. I'm gonna keep saying Deus ex machina.
Deus Machina is good,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
But that's
it
your little, like, Deus Machina every time you
Deus
do it because 'cause
Bigelow
you're
mach
not sure.
Deus Bigelow machina.
Deus
Thank you.
Machina?
Yeah. Um, So what any last thoughts? I had one more, but then I'm completely done, which was in the first season, I'm still stuck on that line when adult Thaisa says to adult Shauna, we wouldn't be here without Natalie. And now we know that Natalie was the first Antler Queen. So maybe she does. I don't know what happens next season, but
I
they're
have a
still
feeling
grateful for
Natalie
her.
finds them shelter
That might be
because
it,
they're about to
or
be
gets them
without.
rescued.
I think they go back to the plane. Thank you.
The plane would be good shelter, although parts of its doors are blown off, but it would be warmer than being outside. I don't know. Chance for
I
Chance for Cali.
think
Love
no chance for Cali.
it.
The only reason I think that is because we see the flashes of Natalie as Antler Queen in the plane. That's where that shot is, where she has the thing on her head. She's in the plane. And then also we see them we see Natalie go back to, we know she knows where it is because she's been back to it with
Yes,
the moose.
many
So at
times.
least
Yeah,
it's some sort of covering, right?
yeah,
And unless they're all gonna venture out and try to find Coach Ben in the Hobbit hole,
right.
that's their best bet for now, for just
Mhm.
really quick covered shelter. And there's
Yeah,
not
no,
that
that makes
many of
sense.
them. They could fit in the plane.
Yeah, there
That's
aren't
my
that
thought.
many left. Yeah. That seems like makes perfect sense. Yeah,
And I hope that she does put together what Javi and Coach said. That's right, Sarah. I
I
really
hope
think
so.
that she needs to find that tree, and that would be the most helpful.
Yeah, and Coach Ben could still survive. When he survived this a couple episodes ago, that's when we first started to go, maybe he is alive in the present. That would be crazy, but maybe he
he
is.
he also just apparently doesn't need any food
No,
because again, he
he's
has not eaten in a really
no,
long time that we know of.
no.
So
I love that none of these actors, I don't advise crash diets or anything. I think that's terrible, but none of them are doing like a um Jared Leto or like whatever. They're just like good for them. I'm saying I'm glad none of them are doing that, including
what do you
Coach
mean?
Ben. Like, whenever they're in like Jared Leto or whoever's in a movie and they lose like 40 pounds and it's really scary and really bad for them, you
Oh, like
know,
Christian Bale?
like Christian
Yeah.
Bale. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like that. And so I'm glad that none of the actors are doing that. But it has been like a lot. He's had nothing to eat except maybe one bird couple months ago.
It was my one
Not a couple
actual,
months, maybe
I
just a
think it's
month.
the only makeup complaint I've had on the show because all of the, especially in the wilderness, their makeup this episode specifically is very realistic. It's just that sort of ground in dirt. Do you know what
Yeah.
I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah, yeah.
Where you get
Mhm.
weird marks. That's
Yeah.
sort of what they're looking like,
Mhm.
except for Ben. And I'm like, Ben comes and I don't know how many days have passed, but he shaved his face, I believe, like a week ago, and he's got the tiniest bit of stubble. And Ben, to me, if I had to guess, seems like a guy that has a 5 o'clock shadow, which means at five
Yeah.
o'clock he's got hair growing
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
He would not just have this perfectly little baby face with a tiny bit of fuzz this many days in.
Yeah.
And he'd be dirtier. And next to Natalie, he looks like a model. It's
Yeah.
like, excuse me, this is my pouty lip. I don't understand. I don't know why it just seemed bizarre to me. So, anyways, thank you everyone so much
Thank you
for
so much. My computer
joining
might
us.
crash now because it's giving me that warning again.
Yeah, we've
Thank
been on forever, but thank you so much.
We can't thank you enough
We'll see you
for
next
being
week where
with
we
us.
deep
Yeah,
dive.
yeah, and we think we're gonna go at what time did we say? 5
We said
instead of
we
6?
said 3, I believe we said 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock. So 4 o'clock
Oh, 4
Pacific.
o'clock. Okay.
4. So we're gonna go earlier
Oh, the
than now.
spoiler. Okay. So this I hope
Oh
my
wait,
computer.
spoiler. If you
Yeah,
don't
I'm
want to hear
gonna
the spoiler, get out of here.
so there
10, 9,
is
8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
So there's a photo that someone put on Reddit. They watched the scene where they're all rescued in that flashback from I believe the first season. the first episode of this season, and there's a girl who looks very, very much like Mari rescued. So
Disappointing.
they do I thought, no, that's not Mari, and then they did a side by side and it looks a lot like Mari, and she has like her hood up. So if that's Mari, then Mari might be alive.
Is there any way it could be
A
Aquila?
chance for Mari.
I need it to be Aquila. Can we just switch the people? I need Aquila to be on that plane.
We've all thought that Mari was Pit Girl for a long time, which means it's someone
Which means
else.
it's brunette number 3.
Jen, Gen. Genevieve.
Guinevere.
Yes, Genevieve.
Genevieve is not.
I think Aquila was in that after shot after the fire.
Is Genevieve a real thing? Are people doing that?
No, I just call her
It
that.
sounds like a disease. Your doctor called. You've got Genevieve again. You have to go get your shot.
I love it. Wait, let me see if I can share that.
Or a medication.
Yeah, Aquila's not in
Genevieve.
that photo, but I think we see her leaving the cabin. I feel confident that Aquila is fine.
I can find this photo on Reddit, this side by side.
Yeah. Or I'll text it to you. But I think
excited.
I think everyone was accounted for after the fire, but I could be wrong. I need Aquila to be okay. So I hope that Aquila's not missing. I think everyone survived the fire, though.
Someone's here.
You can see her in the perfect. Thank you. So thank you. Thank you so much.
This
You're
has
amazing.
been so fun.
Yes. We'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week for the deep dives, and we want all the good theories. For sure. We might do a call out. It's gonna be great.
Reach out to us on social media, Dateline, if you want me to send me anything so I can collect for notes and stuff for next time.
I can't wait. Thank you,
everyone.
Have a great week.
Bye.